And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Roncalli Football, the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network. Rob Brown, Dan Bauer, and Steve Wilson back with you. Happy to be with you here at Roncalli Stadium. An abbreviated pregame show. We appreciate you jumping in and joining us. We will have football at the top of the hour. We'll have a sectional final. Roncalli 9-1, winners of 8 in a row, taking on 4-4 Lebanon for the sectional final here at the stadium for the second year in a row. And Roncalli and Dan for Roncalli, it's same old story. Offense rolling, another big offensive output. Last week, 57-7 at Beech Grove, tying the record for the most points in a playoff game in Roncalli history.
Yeah, and I've told a lot of people this week, they're asking, well, how's Roncalli going to do the rest of the way out and all that kind of stuff. And they talk about, Roncalli, and they're obviously they've got some great players. They've got a great running back, a quarterback that's, leading all the stats books, but yet not like a, Joe Montana type or anything. And you got linemen that are big, but they're kind of still inexperienced, but they obviously play a whole year, so you can't say that anymore. But they just win. I mean, defensively, there's not superstars, but there's a lot of good athletes, and it's a team that you just kind of watch and you go, man, they are really put together well because they have attack points, either in the running game and the passing game. Defensively, they've got great defensive backs. You got a good pass rush. You got some linebackers that are all over the place. It just, it's a jigsaw puzzle that none of them are great pieces, but they're all good, and when you put them all together, it ends up being great.
Well, Roncalli is seeking its 21st sectional title. Only 13 programs statewide have at least 20. Meanwhile, Lebanon looking for its second. Lebanon won its only sectional title back in 1997. And this game tonight is only the second sectional final appearance for Lebanon since that 1997 win. The other one was last year when Lebanon was here for the sectional final. We mentioned these two teams met here at Roncalli last year in the sectional final. It was a 34-14 Roncalli win. It's an 8-0 all-time Roncalli lead in the all-time series, and this will be the fifth straight time that these teams have met in a postseason game. Roncalli has played Lebanon 5 of the last 7 years in the postseason. The only 2 years that skip in that sequence, actually 14 they skip, and then 17 and 18. Right. And in those 2 years, Roncalli was playing up in 5A, so there was no possibility of playing Lebanon. So they've been frequent opponents here in the postseason. Lebanon getting here by way of wins over Frankfurt in round one. That was a 29-0 shutout win, and then a very impressive 29-25 win at home over Western, a Western team that came in at 8-1. And Dan, as you look toward tonight's matchup, what do you have as for our keys to the game?
Well, and I tell you what, this team, although they only played 4 games or 8 games total, they've won 4, lost 4. They play a decent schedule. Obviously COVID took 3 games away from them in the middle of the season. So when you look at their stats, they're kind of unimpressive because they just haven't played enough games. But yet, their quarterback is really good. He's a baseball player, but he's got a good arm. He's also runs the ball well. Their star running back is out, but the kid that comes back in is 5'10", 210-pound runner that will just run over you if he has to. And then they've got a wide receiver that also plays defensive back who was a junior All-State last year. So they bring a lot of weapons that it's a team that if you're not careful, you could find yourself in a ball game really quickly. And so Roncalli, I think overall, they've got to be just very careful to contain those big players and make sure that you take them out of their game, whether it be offensively or defensively, to make sure Roncalli plays with the lead. Offensively, the way you do that is you win the line of scrimmage like they've done the last couple of weeks. You run, pass, mix it, and you play ball control. And you want to get a lead and keep playing with that lead because that takes away a lot of stuff for Lebanon. Defensively, you just stay focused. You got to tackle. You got to not give up long plays. Again, you just play fundamental football, and this game should be a game that you should be able to win. I don't look at it as a 57-7 win.
Running clock, no.
I didn't look at that last week either, though. So that's the thing with the Roncalli. They surprise you with being able to put points on the board really quickly.
Well, Roncalli making its traditional entrance from the east end zone, a little bit different look. Roncalli wearing blue jerseys at home for the first time since 1989. They're clearly amped up. We're going to take our break, our only break here on the McDonald's pregame show. When we come back, we'll have the kickoff at the top of the hour. It's the sectional final, 8-1 Roncalli against 4-4 Lebanon. And it's up next on the Roncalli Media Network. Okay, we're rolling here. Game open on the other side. I'll call the ID when we come back.
Chick-fil-A, Indiana Members Credit Union, Glander Rockford Orthodontics, and the Roncalli Alumni Association. Roncalli High School football is on the air, home of the 9-time state football champions, and celebrating over 50 years of excellence in the classroom and on the field.
The guy called it. We tried to help him through it.
Back at the stadium, we're right at the top of the hour, so before we get this kickoff, let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for the station identification, reminding you you're listening to Roncalli Football on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network. John Troxell is on to kick it away for Roncalli. Number 24, J.C. Reese, and number 11, Jaheim Joseph Deep. Lebanon won the toss, wants the football. Roncalli clad in royal blue tops for the first time in 30 years at home. White numbers, white trim, white pants, gray helmets with the Red Cross logo. Lebanon, the white tops, black numerals, black pants, black helmets with the gold tiger logo. We're underway, and Troxell's end-over-end kick is taken by Joseph at the 5-yard line near hash. Angles toward the middle of the field, waits for an opening, and it closes quickly. He's tackled at the 21. So Garrett Harker is the quarterback for the Tigers. The ball put down at the 21. Harker, a 5'10", 170-pound sophomore. Dan mentioned at the top that Harker is a high-value Major League Baseball prospect, committed to play baseball next year at the University of Cincinnati. His back behind him is Brayton Bowen, 5'10", 200-pound, 10-pound junior in the pistol formation. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the long side left. And Harker on the keep. He's dragged down immediately. by Brady New. Harker, number 5, the carry, the quarterback.
Read option stuff where the quarterback's looking, they're getting that mesh point together, looking at what the defense is giving him. He'll pull it out and run it, but then he also likes to just give it to that fullback, letting him ramble up the middle. So Roncalli's got to really pay attention to that mesh point and who's got the ball after they get together. 2nd
down and 11. Harker has a back on either side in shotgun. He fakes, drops to throw, looks in the flat. It's caught and tackled immediately, knocked out of bounds. That's number 16, the big tight end, Hunter Crew. 6'5", 205-pound junior, but he has maybe a gain of 1, knocked out of bounds immediately at the 21-yard line. Owen Volk knocked him out. 3rd down and 10.
Michael Hegwood had good coverage on him. He was down low, after he went up high for the ball. Hegwood was down low. He had him there, and then they had guys coming from the inside out, so really sandwiched him in there.
3rd down and 10 for the Tigers. First possession of the game in the sectional final, Class 4A. Harker. Swing pass in the flat to Joseph. He's got to make some moves, and he's tackled well shy of the line to gain at the 26. Dominic Brown and Owen Volk helped him out. And that sends the punt team out for the Tigers.
Kind of a quick screen. They had J.C. Reese, their really good receiver. He was blocking, and he put some clamps on our cornerback. And so it was a really nice screenplay setup, but good pursuit from the inside. Didn't allow too much yardage.
Number 41, Caleb Girdley is the punter for Lebanon. Dominic Brown, number 7, deep for Roncalli, stands at his own 43. Girdley, a long time to get it away. Hits a high twister that Brown watches take a hop right in front of the Roncalli bench. And it's checked out of bounds immediately by Crew.
Well, it was a little dangerous because he was like tiptoeing on the sideline and sticking his hand out. The ball was clearly going to be out of bounds, so he wanted to try to bring it back in and maybe pick up some yards. But obviously when you're doing that and the guy's barreling down on you, he laid a lick on him, and there's a chance, you could fumble that, and if it comes back in bounds, you're in trouble.
So 1st and 10, Roncalli at its own 33-yard line. 9:52 to go here in the first quarter. Aidan Leffler making his 30th career start tonight, the junior. That ties a program record. Fakes, now he's going to run it. Spins out across the 35 near the 38. Look downfield, nobody there, and he picked up 5. 2nd down and 5.
Lebanon plays a 4-3 defense generally, although what they normally do is they have 3 down linemen and then a stand-up guy at the wide side of the field usually. Right now, though, they've got 2 guys out. They're almost in a 3-4 package look. They've backed off the guy that normally is up on a scrimmage back, and then they blitz the other guy. Nice pickup.
And it's caught downfield on a pass to John Troxell. He's inside the 45-yard line, tackled at the 40. A little slow to get up, but he's got a 1st down.
He's got a little stinger in his arm. He doesn't want to throw the ball because it was hurting.
First and 10 at the 41 of Lebanon. 23-yard catch by Troxell.
Ryan Papadria jumped in there at the wideout spot.
Give to Huebler his first touch. Stop and go move. He's outside. He's up the sideline. 25, cuts inside 20. Tripped up at the 20, 19, and a 1st down.
Papandrea had some good, again, he's not normally a wide receiver, but he's up there leading the run there and getting some good blocks downfield. Roncalli quickly up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to maybe press him here a little bit.
1st and 10 at the 19. Roncalli moving quickly. Delayed give to Huebler, and he's stacked up. Not a lot there. The hole disappeared as he tried to run between the tackles, and not much there. Number 13, Jack Reynolds on the stop. Actually, it was Hunter Crew on the stop, number 16, I believe. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9 at the 18. Leffler looking left the whole time. Throws. He's got a leaping catch. Ryan Papandrea, who's in there at a wideout, as Dan mentioned, because Troxell had the stinger. Papandrea, who got some wideout time last year, that's his first catch of the season. And he dives out of bounds immediately after the catch. Pickup of 5. 3rd down and 4 at the 12.
Well, Lebanon made a late switch where they switched, they shifted over the line, which left the throwing lane wide open.
Give to Huebler, trying to grind his way toward the 8, which is the line to gain, and I think he stopped short. He is. Pickup of 2, setting up 4th and 2. And I think Roncalli goes for it here, Dan.
Yeah, they look like they have no intention of running a kicker out.
Roncalli 61% this year on 4th down, 11 out of 18. Big play here early. 4th and 2 from the 10. Lebanon crowds the line. Leffler looks back to the bench for the play call with 15 on the play clock. Has Huebler to his immediate right. Aidan on the quarterback delay. Surges up the right side. He's got a first down. He's
Nice.
inside the
Good
5.
play.
Patience by Leffler, and it's a first down.
He waited
Third on the drive.
He waited for that right side of the line to establish their blocks, and then he just kind of followed that group up there. That's Trevor Lauk at the guard and Drew Klaus at the guard. Trevor Lauk at the tackle. And then, of course, you got Sam Seacrest in the middle. So followed those guys right up through the heart of the defense to get that first down.
Grant Ray and Luke Scartweet on the left side as per usual. Leffler delayed to
Whoa.
Huebler, and he's tackled in the backfield back at the 10-yard line. Nice play. And that's number 54, Nick Finney, that got back there and knocked Barron down at the 10-yard line.
Finney's an
Snuck through.
offensive guard for him also. He plays both ways, but he also is that stand-up backer that plays to the strong side usually, and then he walks up to the line of scrimmage, and that's what he did that time. He stayed back with linebacker level right before the snap. He walked up to the line of scrimmage and then raced across the line of scrimmage and met our back at the point of the handoff.
Loss of 6, 2nd and goal from the 11. Leffler screen pass to Huebler.
Oh,
He's got
wide open.
acres of space, and he's at the goal line. He lowers the shoulder, and he booms his way in for the score. Barron Huebler to the near side. He had acres of room, and he's got his 2nd touchdown run in as many weeks.
He had acres of room because Lebanon had a blitz on. Again, the successful play before, number 54, came with that blitz package. He's got the flats out there in a normal pass situation, so Lebanon rolled the dice. Unfortunately, Roncalli had the perfect play called, just roll their running back out to the flats where that guy should be, and he's not because of the blitz, so it's a wide open package and a lot of green space to get that touchdown.
Luke Russell, the junior, is back after missing 5 games. 21 of 22 on PATs this year as Russell. Had a groin injury, high snap. Gore puts it down. Russell, plenty of leg right down the chute. Boy, it's nice to have Luke back.
Sure is.
Handling the PAT chores.
There was no question that was good. That looked good and sounded good.
Easy as you like. Roncalli's 67-yard drive on its opening possession. Let's go down to Steve Wilson and see what Steve saw, especially on that screenplay on 2nd and 11.
Yeah, well, like Dan said, they came with the blitz and they had the perfect play called. And Barron had nothing but green in front of him, and he did have a defensive back that at the goal line that he punished.
What you see on that? What you see, Steve, on that 4th and 2 that Leffler was able to move the chains on that run?
It was just Huebler had a nice block in front, and we got good movement, good push on the right side, and Leffler's always going to fall forward, so. And we ended up picking up 5 and we needed 2, so it was good keeping that drive alive.
Thank you, Steve. Good to have Steve back with us down the sideline. First time we've had our whole crew back intact since the Guerin game. This is Roncalli's first home game in 28 days. Since 1989. Let's see who the kickoff is. Looks like Cole Beckman, number
Cole
2,
Beckman.
handling the kickoffs. Cole handled some kickoffs earlier in the season. Troxell apparently still suffering from that stinger. Beckman hits a low sidewinder that takes a big hop, and it's fumbled and picked up back at the 16-yard line. And that's number 18, who's driven down and planted at the 20. That's Reed Prinsell, number 18. Reed Prinsell, beg your pardon. And that took a fun. First and 10. Harker, hard count, gives to
Yeah.
he's a throwback to fullback days gone by. All that's missing is the neck roll.
Yeah, and that's basically what you're going to get out of him, I think, is just you hand it to him and let him rumble. He's not going to cut. He's not going to be real elusive. He's just going to run over you. And so Roncalli's got to meet him with force at the line of scrimmage. Like that.
And another give right up the middle. He's met again, as Dan said, and driven back for maybe a game of one. Brant Bowen on 2 straight carries. Brayton Bowen, rather.
And this is a game, our linebackers at the end of this game will know they've been in a football game, because when you are meeting a guy like that, play after play after play, it's just what they call an ISO. And depending on how they block it, it really could be an ISO or it might not be. But as a linebacker, it does make a difference. You are meeting that guy full head of steam at the line of scrimmage, play after play, and your shoulders will feel it.
3rd down and 5 from the 26. Harker on the throw. It's a caught by Joseph and an ankle tackle by Brown. Saved a touchdown. There was no safety over the top, and Joseph slanting out to the 40-yard line and a first down.
Well, they had a tight end right in front of him that I thought it was going to the tight end, and our guy came up and hit him. I thought it was going to be pass interference, but the ball went past him, and it went to a different receiver. So they had 2 guys in the same line of sight.
14-yard catch by Joseph. He had 2 touchdown catches on 86 yards last week in the win over Western. 1st and 10. Harker gives to Bowen, barging his way up the middle, covers the football, maybe gets
That's
one.
Stillwell, actually, that he gave it to that time.
Stillwell, beg your pardon.
Stillwell's a smaller guy. He's a sophomore, I believe.
That's number 23, John Stillwell on the carry. 5'11", 205-pound senior. He did get
he is
one
a senior, okay.
before Volk put him down. Pickup of 1, 2nd and 9.
And he gives Lebanon just a little bit of different look. He's more of a scat back, doesn't have near the power.
They give to Stillwell again. He tries the left side, lowers the shoulder out to the 44. Give him the 45 on forward progress. Another tackle by Volk. He's in there. Luke Swartz also in to help out. And they've got so many guys playing both ways, Dan. You have to give some of those guys a blow.
Yeah.
And Bowen also plays linebacker.
Right.
So you see him come back in on 3rd down. 3rd down and 5 at the Lebanon 45. 4 minutes to go, first quarter. Sectional final. Roncalli leads 7-0. Harker in the pistol formation. Bowen back in, a yard behind him. 3 receivers to the left side, wide side. 1 to the short side left. That's Kaler. Harker over the middle, and it's caught by his tight end, Hunter Crew, number 16, at the 45-yard line. On the slant, first down. Brown tackled him, but not before Crew moves the chains. On the pickup of 10 yards on 3rd and 5. Well, Harker's been able to stand in there so far and have time to pick out his receivers.
Yeah, these slant patterns, you don't have to stand in there very long. I mean, it's kind of a short route, and you're looking to make sure they're open and then throwing it. But right now his line's giving him time.
Give to Bowen, and he pounds his way up the right side for a couple. Dominic Brown was in there on the stop, and Volk again. Boy, Volk is everywhere here in this first quarter. Pickup of 2 by Bowen. Second down and 8. Harker, give it to Bowen again. This time he tries the left side, and he surges forward for a couple before he's pulled back from behind by Tommy Brownfield, among others. Tyson Garrett was also in there. Forward progress gives Bowen the Roncalli 41, so 3rd down and 6. 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, and Bowen had the opportunity to cut there. I mean, there was a little bit of opening to the outside, but he just lowered his head and shoulders and said, "This is where I'm going." So he makes no bones about wanting to run through you.
They've not targeted J.C. Reese yet, their leading receiver, number 24, out on the wide side. And Roncalli got in early. Hegwood came on a corner blitz. Harker tries to scramble for it, gets out inside the 40, but he's short. Boy, Hegwood timed that perfectly.
He did. Wow, he came out of nowhere.
Harker able to scramble and pick up 2, but it's 4th and 4 at the Roncalli 39.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lebanon goes for it here. I mean, when you're down 7 and you're against a team that you know is going to put up some points, you can't afford to punt. You've got to kind of keep momentum and try to make some magic happen.
Roncalli 4 out of 4. Roncalli opponents 50% on 3rd downs this year, 13 out of 26. 4th and 4.
Whoa, they went offsides.
And Roncalli jumps.
Lebanon jumps.
Excuse me.
Yeah. They were
Procedure on Lebanon. Now it's 4th and 9, and you almost, as our statistician Bob Michael said, you almost have to punt it now. Although they're not sending the punt team out.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to. I mean,
4th and 9. I think, Dan, you're playing it. If you're looking at it from Lebanon's perspective, you're playing a team that's averaging over 40 points a game.
Correct.
You almost have to match them score for score.
Yep. And that's why you keep the offense on there, especially when you got some of your receivers. And I mean, they have a good passing game and a quarterback that can throw it. 10 yards isn't, or 8 yards, 9 yards isn't that big a deal.
4th and 9 at the Roncalli 44. Harker stands in, throws, has a man.
I don't know if he made it.
Sticks.
I don't know if he made it.
He dives out of bounds. It's very close. The spot looks favorable.
They're going to give him a good spot.
On a diving catch by Nicholas Kaler, number 7 at the 35-yard line. That's a first down. Well, hang on a second here.
They were talking about it over there. The white hat, I couldn't tell if he went ahead and.
Yep, they gave it to him.
They did give it to him.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a first down. Clutch catch by Nicholas Kaler, the senior. That moves the chains, 1st and 10.
Well, and a good job by Harker to kind of sit back there and pick the guy he wanted right at the sticks.
1st and 10 at the 35 of Roncalli. Give again to Bowen up the middle. He's tripped up at the line of scrimmage and able to stumble forward. Luke Swartz clipped him. Bowen's able to get 2.
Well, and Brandon Glasson, their right guard, he's 6'1", 265 pounds. He was coming around on a pole and was going to light somebody up, and he got tripped up by the center. And he caused a pile there that it's like made it easy for Roncalli, luckily.
Inside a minute to go, first quarter. Roncalli leads 7-0, but Lebanon driving inside the Roncalli 35, 2nd and 8. Harker, give again to Bowen.
That's a good hit.
Pounds his way up the middle for 2 more, but physical yards. Brady New got him.
Was that New that got him? That was a good hit by New.
Give him 2 on the forward progress. 3rd down and 6, inside 20 seconds. This likely will be the final play of the quarter. Lebanon appears to be in no hurry.
New looks bigger in blue.
He does. I would agree with that. And Lebanon comes to the line, but Harker has no intention of snapping the football. And that's the final play of the quarter. So at the end of one quarter on the Beck Service Center scoreboard, Roncalli leading Lebanon 7-0. We'll step out for 30 seconds and be right back. It's Roncalli football on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network. Copy. Yeah, we're all clear. Rob Brown, Dan Bauer, Steve Wilson back with you at Roncalli Stadium. Roncalli leads 7-0 heading into the second quarter. Let's go down to Steve. Steve, what have you seen from Roncalli as far as Harker being able to stand in and have time?
Lebanon's done a really good job with the play action, and they're freezing our linebackers, and it's creating some passing lanes on that on the slant route. And he's got a clean pocket, so unless we get some pressure up the middle and move him off that spot, that's going to continue to happen. So we'll see what adjustments Roncalli's defense is going to make here.
Steve Wilson down on the sideline for us. 3rd down and 6 as we start the second quarter at the Roncalli 31. Lebanon with the football. Roncalli with a 7-0 lead. Roncalli sends some action. Bowen pounding his way up the middle. He's short of the line to gain, however, as he's pulled down at the 27, 2 yards shy. Pick up a 4. I think they were always going to run 2 plays there, though, Dan.
Yep, I do too.
They're quickly to the line, Lebanon, on 4th and 2. 1 for 1 so far here on 4th down in this ball game. Tried the hard count. Roncalli didn't bite. 4th and 2 at the Roncalli 27. Harker looks at his wristband. 14 seconds on the play clock. Harker takes the snap, and he keeps trying to go around and a second effort cut back upfield, and he's got the first down. Inside the 25 to the 24. The second effort did the trick, and that moves the chains.
Well, and he took it, and he did the mesh, saw that hole had kind of tightened up. He pulled it out and ran right towards our contain guy, and the contain guy kind of waited there to make the tackle on him. Right before he got to him, he cut up the field. And there's a seam always going to be there. As a contain guy, you've got to squeeze that down to shorten that distance so he doesn't have that lane. So, but a good move by Harker to realize that and make a play on it.
1st and 10 at the 24. Harker's got all sorts of time now. Ball pulls him out of the pocket. Harker looks downfield, throws to the goal line.
Oh, he got it.
And a touchdown.
Whoa.
That's Jaheim Joseph on the touchdown, a 24-yard catch by Joseph. His third touchdown catch of the year.
And Owen Volk put a great move on the tackle coming around him, and the tackle held him bigger than anything. I don't know what the guy wasn't looking at that side of the ball. As the ball was flushed out to the other side, he wasn't looking at the backside, but they got away with the hold to make that touchdown happen. But Harker did a great job looking down the field as he was moved out of the pocket.
Trevor Myers, number 6, on for the PAT, and he got it. Boy, that one was running left quickly, but Myers knocks it through, and we're all tied up at 7. 10:52 to go here in the first half. We'll go ahead and stay right here. Tonight's game brought to us by Ortho Indy, where their mission is to provide the highest quality comprehensive bone, joint, spine, and muscle care to patients throughout the Midwest, the United States, and around the world. From diagnosis through recovery, their team is ready to get you back in the action. Choose Ortho Indy to be your official orthopedic provider. Now the Donovans checking in from the Heart of the Locust crew. Father Wilmoth, of course, checking in. Always appreciate when Father Wilmoth checks in. Let us know where you're listening tonight. And check in via Twitter at RBB_Brown. Bob Susmichael, our statistician. Good to have the whole crew back. Stephen Ranazizzi in our CBS Sports 1430 studios did a great job getting us on air just prior to top of the hour. Our video crew tonight, Director Hannah Taylor, Reese Gosser on the graphics, Ben Taylor, Ethan Gorski on the cameras. Michaela Belden is our producer tonight. Jacob Taylor, the coordinating producer, and Stefan Welsh, the executive producer. Great to have them with us. Great to have you with us. First kickoff of the night for Lebanon. Ryan Henry and Dominic Brown go deep for Roncalli. That's Gridley, number 41, who also handles the punting chores for Lebanon, that will kick this ball off toward the east end zone.
Another special shout-out, if we got a little bit of time here. Bob Hillen is up in Rensselaer. He's been listening to all the games and watching the games when he can.
There we go.
He's got 2 grandsons on the team and loves watching Roncalli.
That's Caleb Girdley. His kickoff is taken by Ryan Henry at the 16. Ryan makes a move. He's out across the 35, spinning his way out across the 40. And a nice return by Ryan Henry. Number 12, John Stillwell on the tackle. So good field position for Roncalli for its second possession of the game. And certainly, Dan, that's a Lebanon strategy to shorten the game, shorten the possessions. Playing a Roncalli team that has outscored its opponent 188-44 in the second quarter. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Second Roncalli possession beginning here at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, that first quarter came and went, and I was like, wait, we only had 1 possession. How could that be? Normally we have 4 possessions by that time.
Leffler gives to Huebler. Barron takes his time. He's into the linebackers. He stiff arms Joseph and out to the 50. Good first down run by Huebler. Very close to the line to gain. Give him 9. Barron, one of 6 rushers in Roncalli history, over 33,000 career yards. He came in tonight at 33-30. He takes it again on 2nd and 1. He waits. He's behind his backers. Now he cuts to the wide side. Still trying to get upfield. He does before he works his way out of bounds inside the 40. That's more than enough to move the chains. J.C. Reese ran him out. Great article by Kyle Nedenrip in the last day or so online and in print on Huebler. Good profile on a guy who's really, Dan, worked his way, spent the time in the weight room, put in the work to make himself, I don't think there's any question, one of the top 10 backs in Roncalli history.
No question.
Fakes, play action.
Nice
over the middle is caught on the slant.
Play.
Nice fake by Leffler and a catch, but it's Troxell again, and he's down. Slow to get up.
Well, and Steve talked about that play action. It did. He sucked the linebackers up, opened up the field. There was Leffler was very patient. Let the play happen, get him open, get in position under the DB, and then just put a rifle right where he wanted to get that completion.
And Troxell's got it down to the 23-yard line, pickup of 15. Ryan Papandreou's back in at wideout, replacing John on 1st and 10. Roncalli moving down the field quickly. Lebanon shifts pre-snap. Huebler takes the carry, cuts outside, and they're able to knife his way forward, nearing the 15-yard line. Let's see where they gave him. I think the 17 they gave him. Hunter Crew brought him down, but a pickup of 6, 2nd and 4.
Well, I thought for sure, because it was the direction that Lebanon had shifted, and he cut to the left side, which you would think that's the opposite where he should go, but there was a hole there. It was a great read.
And he waits, and he explodes. He cuts outside, and he takes it into the end zone.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. He ran up the middle.
So
the hole
good.
disappeared. He stopped and then accelerated like a Camaro to the right pylon, and he's into the end zone. My, oh, my.
I'm just shaking my head because he is so good. Like you say, Rob, he got up into the line of scrimmage and saw there wasn't anything there. He just put it in idle for a second, let the blockers get up in front of him, and then followed those blocks, and boom, he's got a touchdown. It's unbelievable to watch him. His patience, I mean, it's like we're watching a professional athlete who's been doing it for 20 years, and yet he's a high school kid. Just incredible vision.
63 yards on 8 carries so far for Huebler tonight. Luke Russell back out there for PAT, try number 2. Great snap. Gore gets it down, and Russell kicks that one halfway to St. Jude. So Roncalli back on top, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. And our score, 9:34 to go, second quarter. Roncalli leads on the Beck's board, 14-7. We've got breaks to get to, so we'll take one now. We'll take a 30-second break and come right back. It's Roncalli football on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network.
Let's go into school, Chad. Oh, hold up, Brad. We didn't put our masks on. Good idea. Now let's go.
Don't be like Brad and Chad. Make sure you wear your mask over your nose and your mouth to prevent the spread of COVID. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus for more information.
Yeah, tonight's game brought to us by Jockish Flowers. To ensure vibrant and long-lasting life, Jockish Flowers are always freshly cut and chilled. They consistently offer quality and beauty in each hand-picked arrangement that leaves their shop. Visit them at 2636 Southeast Street or call 784-1614 to order your arrangement today. That's our friends at Jockish Flowers. Crowd's still buzzing about that Huebler run. That was highlight reel worthy right there.
No question. Wow.
Looks like John Troxell, though, is back out there and able to kick this one off. John's had gotten a couple stingers tonight and had to come off after catches, but John's out there to kick it away. And he hits it deep. Reese takes it at the 10-yard line. That's J.C. Reese. He's got an avenue. He's up the middle of the field. Troxell waiting to make a play, and finally Reese taken down inside the Roncalli 45, but a long return by J.C. Reese into Roncalli territory. Down to the 43-yard line of Roncalli. So good field position for the Tigers.
Showed why he's such a decorated player right there. He had good blocking. They split the middle, and he just turned on the afterburners there. And if it wasn't for Troxell just getting a little bit of shoestring, that would have been 6.
47-yard return for Reese, his longest of the year. 1st and 10. Harker in the pistol. Turn and give to Bowen. Not much there. Able to work his way back to the line of scrimmage. Luke Swartz and Tommy Brownfield team up. Bowen gets a yard, and that's it. Boy, that pounding between the tackles, there's not a lot there for Lebanon so far tonight.
No, between getting the linebackers up in there and our down linemen getting a little bit of penetration, this is hard yards for Lebanon up the middle.
Great night here tonight on the south side. 63 our game time temperature. 2nd down and 9. Harker give again to Bowen. He tries the outside, shuffles his way back inside on the cut up field. Maybe gets 2. He does down to the 40, so give him 2. 3rd down and 7. To see our friend Michael Hogue checking in from West Lafayette tonight. Good to see Michael when we were up at Harrison a few weeks back. Brian White checking in, as always.
What took him so long?
Man of leisure. One of our favorite guys. 3rd and 7 at the 40. Harker drops. Roncalli looking for pressure. Harker out of the pocket, directing traffic downfield. He throws it to the sideline. It's broken up. Intended for Reese, number 24, and Ryan Henry flew over and broke it up. Papandrea was also there. So the incomplete pass stops the clock, 4th and 7. That might be, Dan, the earliest they have gotten Harker out of the pocket tonight. And they're sending Harker back out with every intention of going for it here on 4th and 7 at the Roncalli 40.
Well, it paid off for them last time, so I guess they got a little bit of magic they think they can recall.
4th down and 7. Crowd getting into it on the Roncalli side.
All the receivers up close.
Harker rolls, and a slant pass. It's caught, and it's picked off. Picked off. Ryan Papandrea jumped in front of the intended receiver, who was number 11, Joseph, the intended receiver, and Papandrea stepped in front and picked it off. Either way, I think it was going to be short, Dan.
Yeah, it was. And it's one of those plays, as a defensive back, you can't not get it because you want the interception. But you're better off to just knock it down because you give up about 15 yards. Well, about 10 yards. But, you get the ball back either way. But, yeah, right. Great defense. Papandrea jumped in front of the would-be receiver. And it looked like Harker just he got scared because there were 2 guys coming on each corner. He got scared, and he just threw it out of there. He couldn't wait anymore because he did not want to get hit. And if he held the ball another second, he was going to get hit big time.
9th straight game, Roncalli's had an interception. 1st and 10 to 35. Leffler fakes, looks down the sideline. He has a man. He's wide open. It's caught. It's Beckman. He's loose, and he scores. Touchdown. Longest touchdown pass of the season for Aidan Leffler. 65-yard strike down the left sideline to Cole Beckman, and that's a big home run to capitalize on the turnover.
Lebanon jumped into, they had a blitz package going on. They jumped up and came out, left the island one-on-one, and you knew it was going to be big right from the beginning because Joseph, their corner, was coming up like he was going to start to blitz, and then saw the guy run behind him. So it was going to be a good 5 yards, loss for him there because there's no way he was going to catch up. All that needed was a good pass over the top, which he got, good catch, and a touchdown.
Luke Russell on for the PAT. That's the longest play from scrimmage this year for Roncalli, 65 yards. Russell, plenty of leg, and he bangs it through. So quick strike. Roncalli, 3 possessions, 3 scores, and all of a sudden it's a 2-score lead on our Beck Service Center scoreboard, 21-7. We've got breaks to catch up on, so we'll take one now. 7:52 to go in the half. Roncalli leads by 14. We're back in 30 seconds on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network.
I work out every day. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 24. COVID won't kill me.
I have antibodies. COVID won't kill me.
It's been a long week. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 25. COVID won't kill me.
I'm partying outside. COVID won't kill me.
I don't need to wear a mask around my friends. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 23. COVID won't kill me.
If I haven't gotten it yet, COVID won't kill me.
I'm young. COVID won't kill me.
Famous last words. Don't let them be yours. Socially distance. Mask up, America. I work out every day. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 24. COVID won't kill me.
I have antibodies. COVID.
You have to stop Barron, and once you do that, you're picking your poison now. And if Aidan is on, which that was a perfect throw, right in stride, just a simple go route, then you're in big trouble because you got to stop one, and you're typically not going to stop both.
Now, thanks to Steve for being down on the sideline with us tonight. Good to have everybody back together. 21-7 our score. We'll keep you updated on other scores. The winner of this game will play the winner of Mount Vernon at Newcastle. Mount Vernon, the number 1 team in the state. Troxell on to kick it away. Hits an end-over-ender, and it's taken at the 7. That's Joseph, number 11. He hesitates for a second. Flag flies in. Joseph able to stop and go his way out to the 24, but that likely is going to get backed up. Ryan Papandrea, who had the interception on the previous Roncalli defensive possession for his team best 4th pick of the year. And I think we're going to see this get backed up here. Conversation out near midfield. Scott Fisher is our referee tonight. And he indicates, was it a hold or a block in the back?
Block in the back.
Block in the back.
Yep.
Dan, we were talking before the game. This is I've been around this program now 10 years. This is the first time I can remember a November home playoff game where we didn't have the heater on here in the press box.
And our
We've got
windows
the windows
are wide
open.
open. Yes, it's a beautiful night.
Bob Sues is comfortable, which is a key component to our weekly operation.
And the reason we have no heaters.
Penalty backs Lebanon up to the 9, so possession number 4 for Lebanon begins there. Harker, quick pass out in the flat to Crew, and he's tackled immediately by Michael Hegwood, who hangs on and waits for reinforcements. And that, I believe, is going to be a loss of yardage. It looks like they spot him back at the 7. That was the big tight end, Hunter Crew, number 16. He came in with 14 catches and 2 scores. He's got good size, though, Dan. 6'5", 205-pound junior.
Yeah, they've got some size in the across the board. With a 6'2", 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, even Reese is 6'2", 170.
Yeah. Yep.
Loss of 3 on the play officially after Hegwood makes the stop. Second down and 13.
Roncalli, again, continues to press their defensive backs up real close to the receivers, not giving them much.
Delayed give to Bowen right between the tackles, and he pounds his way forward for a couple. Maybe one. Boy, they didn't give him much.
Nope.
Forward progress of a yard. Third down and 12.
And to take it to the next step, the reason you press these backers, obviously they have had a little bit of success on the slant routes. If you bring your backers up and press them at the front of the line, normally on a slant, a good slant, let you run up to where the defensive is about 5-6 yards back and then cut off that point to make sure you're inside of them. When they're in your face at the 2-yard line, all of a sudden it's a very quick slant and you don't have enough room to get downfield. And then hands in your face, you're not going to get separation.
Harker drops into his end zone, goes for the long ball down the left side, all sorts of tangled up.
Good job. Henry did a good job.
Defending, and it's incomplete. It falls incomplete out the 45-yard line. Intended for Caden Bogus, number 12. Henry was running stride for stride. The pass fell harmlessly to the turf, 4th down.
And the key to that, Henry did a good job of running. The entanglement was with the feet, not the hands. And Henry did a great job of not sticking those hands in there and giving the official a reason to throw a flag. He just kind of turned his body. Again, they were kind of bumping hip-wise. But, again, you're just running stride by stride. There's no penalty in that. It's a really good defensive back play.
Number 41, Caleb Girdley back at the punt at the back edge of his end zone. Not a lot of room here. Dominic Brown stands at the 35 of Lebanon. And a short kick, Brown comes up. It takes a bad bounce for Lebanon's standpoint, and the Tigers down it at their own 31. So a short kick. Call it a 24-yard kick if they put it down at the 31, and they do. So a short field for Roncalli. And, Dan, that's a worst-case scenario if you're Lebanon. Roncalli gets a quick strike touchdown. You go 3 and out, get pinned inside your own 10, and now you give Roncalli, whose offense is 3 for 3 tonight, a short field.
But how many times have we talked about these last couple of games? And especially in the second quarter. Second quarter, Roncalli, for whatever reason, scores 4 touchdowns a quarter. Now, I don't want to jinx them, but, it's unbelievable how little things like that, the defense pins them back. They get then moves them backwards so they're punting out of the end zone. Bad kick, and now Roncalli's offense has got it in scoring position already without even running the first play in this series.
Short field for the home team, 1st and 10 at the 31. Roncalli leads this sectional final 21-7. 6:08 to go in the second quarter. Aidan Leffler, Lebanon crowds the line, give to Huebler. Barron on the delay. He waits for a hole, and he's pulled down from behind while he waits. Nice play by the defender on the tackle. That was Nick Finney again, who had a tackle for loss in the first quarter. That's the 6'1", 250-pound junior on the end there. Gain of 2 for Huebler.
Well, and Lebanon was up again, pressing up front. They're putting a lot of guys in the box trying to stop that. I think Roncalli could have scored if they went for a pass there. Because Lebanon is just not. Now they're putting a couple guys back there. It looks like they're back in a zone defense right now.
Give again to Huebler. He spins off of Grant Ray as left guard and corkscrews his way down to the 25. Finney again on the stop, pick up a 4. 3rd down and 4. Or 3rd down, let's call it 3 at the 24. 3rd down and 3. Leffler, quarterback run, up the middle. He's got a first down. He's dragged down at the 16, called the 17, but that's more than enough to move the chains. That's only the second design run by Leffler tonight.
Well, and it was designed from the very beginning. They had Michael Gallagher up in a tight end position, and then your two big guys on the right side, all blocking down, creating just a great seam for the quarterback to run right off tackle and right off the end. And it was again a great design, but it was all muscle.
Lebanon calls time. We've got some more breaks to get to, so we'll go ahead and take one as well. 5:04 to go here in the half. 21-7 our score. Roncalli leads. We're back in 30 seconds on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network.
Every day we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game, because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like.
Rob Brown, Dan Bauer, Steve Wilson back with you. Luke Jones in our CBS Sports 1430 studios. Such a big game. We've got two guys in the studio tonight, Stephen Ranzizzi and Luke Jones, teaming up to handle things on our audio side. 1st and 10, Roncalli at the 17 of Lebanon. Roncalli leads 21-7, trying to add to it. Lebanon crowds the line. Leffler fakes, rolls, throws in the flat. He's got Gallagher. He's got room. He's up the sideline. He lowers the shoulder,
nice.
And he stepped out of bounds.
Oh, shoot.
He's stumbled his way to the goal line, but they say that as he made his move upfield, before he lowered the boom, he stepped out at the 3.
And Roncalli hustling back up to the line of scrimmage to get a quick snap here.
1st and goal at the 3. Leffler's in shotgun. They give to Huebler. Barron cuts, waits, spins, jumps. He's in the end zone. 3rd touchdown of the night for Barron. Boy, it's like he was running a shuttle drill there.
Yeah.
3 yards out, Barron takes it in. That's the 37th rushing touchdown of his career. And just like that, it's 27-7 in favor of Roncalli.
And it was like they couldn't get him the ball fast enough. He wanted that ball, and he was just scatting back and forth. He was going to find a hole no matter what, and leaped into the end zone, made it look easy.
It's the 7th time in 11 games that Roncalli scored at least 20 points in the second quarter. High snap, Gore gets it down. Russell, plenty of leg, knocks it down the middle.
Another key to all that working is the Roncalli's ability to, after a big play like that, and you think you're scoring, but you step out of bounds, to get back to the line of scrimmage, get everybody up there. You could see Lebanon's defense. They were out of sync. They weren't in the right position. Roncalli snaps the ball before they're ready, and that makes that play work because Roncalli is so disciplined that they don't get, upset that they didn't give him a touchdown or anything else. They're back up working when a lot of teams are just kind of just rumbling back up to get in a huddle. So, again, it's a whole team effort. But then you give the ball to Huebler, and holy cow, he makes it look easy like it's his own team. He's really something special to watch.
Well, we mentioned the Mount Vernon Newcastle game. 2 other games in the south half of the 4A bracket. Mooresville hosting Martinsville. Mooresville won the regular season matchup between those two teams, 41-24. And then Evansville Memorial hosting Evansville Central. Evansville Central ranked number 2 at 11-0 and beat Evansville Memorial 21-0. But Evansville Memorial, Dan, 8-3. They're the defending 4A champions.
Correct.
And they played in the championship game the previous 2 years in 3A, winning 1, losing 1.
Really?
So they've been in the state finals 3 years in a row.
I didn't know that.
So that's a team that's not going to go quietly.
No.
There's a good matchup down there in Evansville. So that's the bottom half of the 4A bracket.
And actually, after Evansville Memorial, they've got Hobart and Lowell are playing each other. Those are, and Leo's in there also. But really, I think the better teams are up in our half. So that makes it a little bit easier for them to maybe get through and get back to the state game.
Yeah, the only teams ranked in the top 5 that are still alive are all in the south half of the bracket.
Yep.
Troxell out to kick it away again. 4:53 to go in the second quarter. Roncalli leads 28-7. Good Lebanon crowd across the way. He made the trip south. And that's taken again by Reese, this time at the 12-yard line. He hesitates, waits, cuts outside, still going backwards, and Roncalli hems him in. Ankle tackle by Ryan Papandrea. Well, that middle alley that Reese capitalized on for a 47-yard return earlier in the game, that closed quickly, and he had no backup plan.
No, because when you start running laterally, all your momentum's going the wrong direction, and it's not very likely unless you just have lucky and blazing speed all at the same time that you're going to get away with that one, and he didn't.
Ball put down at the 18-yard line of Lebanon. 1st and 10, 4:45 to go, second quarter. Roncalli leads 28-7. Harker in the shotgun. Give to Stillwell. Now he keeps it himself. Hesitates and darts ahead for a couple. Give him the 20. He faked the give to Stillwell. Fortunately, I was faked out, but the defense was not.
Nope. Well,
Brown made the stop.
After he pulled it out and started running and realized that Roncalli was not fooled by it, he was wishing he would have given it to him because he just put the brakes on and kind of dipped back inside and was kind of heading to the ground because he said, just get me down because there's nothing in this defense that they're giving me right now.
2nd down and 8 at the Lebanon 20. Harker empties out the backfield. Swing pass out there to Reese, and he works his way out near the 25-yard line. And Roncalli calls time. J.C. Reese, number 24, on the screen pass catch, tackled by Tyson Garrett at the 23, or 24, let's call it. 3rd down and 4. Roncalli calls timeout. We've got a couple breaks to get to, so we'll go ahead and take one now. 3:58 to go. First half, Roncalli leads 28-7 on the Ascension St. Vincent. Roncalli Media Network. Back at Roncalli Stadium, 3:58 to go first half. Roncalli leads Lebanon 28-7. Roncalli 9-1, Lebanon 4-4.
Well, and Rob, we talk about all the things kind of clicking with the passing, the running game, the defense, all that kind of stuff. Here's an example of the coaches even in sync and knowing what they're doing. That is a great timeout, and they called it right away. You want to conserve clock time in this situation because it gives your offense probably 3.5 minutes to go ahead and score one more time. But there's a lot of coaches that would not be ready to make that call like Coach Rodenberg was.
So 3rd down and 5 officially. The ball put at the 23. 3rd down and 5. Harker empties out the backfield. Looks that way, fakes. Now he runs it himself.
Oh, good run.
Behind his blockers, able to work his way out across the 30. Nice play. They gave you the same pre-snap movement as they did the previous play, but then Harker kept it and made a nice run up the middle for a first down.
Well, the nice look away and kind of almost like he was going to throw it. Got the defense heading that direction. Kind of they're playing aggressive right now. So just that little movement gets the aggressive defense going out of their way. Then he takes off the other way, and there's a nice little seam for him to hit. And he takes the timeout, great timeout, and makes it useless.
1st and 10 at the 32. Inside 3.5 minutes to go first half. Play action fake. On the slant, quick catch. Right at the 40-yard line, there's a flag down. The catch is made by Hunter Crew.
Oh, 52's 15 yards down.
At the 41-yard line.
That's what it is.
So Crew, the tight end, makes the catch at the 41, but that likely is going to come back.
Well, it's a legal man downfield.
Yes, number 52, Drew Terrell, the right tackle. He was downfield.
He was way downfield, yes. Not sure what he was thinking, but he wanted to get out there and maybe throw him the ball. I'm not sure.
So the down will be repeated.
Brownfield was coming with a really nice rush there, and I thought he was going to get his hands on that ball because he had him up, and Harker just threaded him right between his hands to get that ball to the slant pattern. So it was a nice throw, but Brownfield was really putting the pressure on him.
1st down and 15. Back the Tigers up 5 after the penalty. Ball at the 27-yard line of Lebanon. Harker fakes, rolls. Brownfield in pursuit. Harker throws it downfield, and it's Is there a catch, a diving catch? Yes.
Reese fell
J.C.
down.
Reese made a nice play coming back to the football.
Yeah, he
made a diving catch at the 37-yard line.
He fell down on the cut, had to get back up and scramble just to be up high enough to get his hands on it, but made a really nice play.
Ryan Papandrea in coverage. Nice play by J.C. Reese. You mentioned, Dan, he was a junior All-State player last year. Came in with team-high 5 receiving touchdowns. 2nd down and 5 at the Lebanon 37. 2:45 to go first half. Roncalli leads 28-7. Give to Bowen, and he stumbles his way out near the 40, setting up 3rd down and short. They put him down at the 39 with the knee. Tommy Brownfield on the stop. Boy, Roncalli's front 4, Dan, of Volk, Swartz, Brownfield, and New, those guys have been incredibly active.
Yes, they're doing a good job on this.
I can't recall a half where they've been in on more stops.
Well, the style of offense helps them because, I mean, they're just diving it right into the bread basket. But, you've still got to be there ready to make a play, and they're doing their jobs right now.
3rd down and 2.
Payoff a game for him.
Harker drops, throws over the middle. It's caught by his tight end crew. He's got a little bit of room to run. He bangs into Ryan Henry, and he takes it down to the 32-yard line of Roncalli. Boy, Hunter Crew, the big junior, running right down the middle.
He's a good player.
And a big pickup on 3rd down for the Tigers.
That's such a weapon. When you've got that tight end, you start him kind of blocking, and then you just run him right down the seam, the middle of the field. It's an area that's a soft spot for most defenses, and you get a tight end can run down there, stop at a dime, just turn around and be able to catch it with soft hands. That is just a great tool for your quarterback.
29-yard catch. Harker rolls right. It's a run. He cuts outside, then knifes his way back in. The ball's out. The ball came out, and Reese recovers. Boy, Harker ran to the 30, and then the ball came out, and J.C. Reese recovered it. So the ball actually went backwards. So Lebanon, what was going to be a 2 or 3 yard gain, it turns into no gain on the play.
But Reese, lucky to be able to climb that. The ball kind of split out about 3 yards from where the tackle was.
Clock rolling, 1:10 to go in the quarter.
Snaps
over Harker's head. He goes back to get it. The ball's on the turf. Harker ran past it for some reason, and his fullback, Brayton Bowen, fell on it. And now Lebanon has to burn a timeout. It's going to be 3rd down and an acre.
No, Roncalli called the timeout.
Roncalli calls time.
Yep.
Either way, the clock stops. We've got a break we've got to get to. One more to make. So we'll go ahead and take that now. 1 minute even to go in the half. It's 3rd down and 26 for Lebanon when we come back on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network.
Do life, not laundry. Milto Cleaners.
Well, officially a loss of 16 on that play that went over the snap that went over the head of the quarterback Harker. So it's 3rd down and 26 at the Roncalli 48-yard line. So 2 negative plays in a row for the Tigers have put them way behind the sticks. Roncalli has a timeout left. See if they can get a stop here. They'd love one more possession. Harker
blitz
drops, pocket collapses. Harker drops way back and just throws it away. Nearest receiver in the vicinity was number 16, actually number 7. Nick Kaler was the nearest receiver in the vicinity.
Yeah.
So that incomplete pass, though, stops the clock and saves the timeout for Roncalli.
Sure does, yep. And Roncalli did a good job sending it. They took Tyson Garrett. They shifted him over to the right side, the near side line, and then sent him on a blitz package. So and then that forced all the linemen to move their assignment over, which puts one-on-one blocking with the guys up front, which allows you to collapse that pocket down in close.
Girdley, the low snap, he actually took it on a hop, gets the kick away.
Brown came
up to fair catch it. He fumbled it, and it looks like Lebanon has the football. Oh, Dom makes a play and unable to secure it. So the turnover gives the ball to Lebanon on a short field. So 1st and 10 for Lebanon at the Roncalli 26. 45 seconds to go, and Lebanon has 2 timeouts. Oh, my. Harker drops. Has time. Pumps, throws. Has a man. It's way over his head.
Yeah.
Incomplete.
Whoa.
And almost a one-handed
Almost.
interception in the back of the end zone.
Wow.
Wow.
That was Dominic trying to make up for it.
Dominic Brown, almost a one-handed interception. Jaheim Joseph, number 11, the intended receiver, in the back of the end zone. 2nd down. 2nd and 10 at the 26. 37 seconds to go here in the half.
Well, if there's any question, Harker has the arm strength to put it out of the field if he wants to.
Roncalli
he stepped into that one.
Gets the kick to start the second half as Lebanon won the toss and wanted the football. But the home team looking for one more defensive stop to close out the half. Harker rolls, screen pass set up, and it's incomplete. Dropped by Kaler at the line of scrimmage. Number 7, Nicholas Kaler, the intended receiver. Dropped the pass. That stops the clock. 33 seconds left.
And Roncalli brought Sinovic that time in a middle blitz. They're really doing a good job of mixing up their blitzes. They got corner blitzes. They got middle linebacker blitzes. They got outside linebacker blitzes. They're really doing a good job of keeping the Lebanon linemen from knowing where that pressure's coming from.
Lebanon has 2 timeouts remaining, so the playbook's fairly open. You could throw it in bounds and still stop the clock. 2 receivers either side. Bo in the big back behind Harker. On 3rd and 10. Roncalli sends pressure. Quick throw, quick catch. Out in the flat, it's caught by Crew. He's got the 15. He's got a 1st down. That's the tight end, Hunter Crew. He's made some big catches here in this first half. Clock stops temporarily for the chains to move. 1st and 10 at the 15. Clock now rolling. 23 seconds to go in the half. Harker looks over to the sideline. And now Lebanon has to burn a timeout. We'll go ahead and stay here on the timeout. We've taken all of our allotted breaks here in this first half. 18 seconds to go. Boy, they let that clock roll a little bit before they called the timeout there.
Yeah, and that's, when I talked about Rodenberger and their staff being able to call the quick timeout and saving time on it, that this is a situation where Lebanon was just uncertain what they were going to do. And you could see it wasn't just the coaches, it was also the players. The players weren't exactly sure what they were going to go. They were kind of looking to the sidelines like, hey, what are we going to do? Looking for a play call. In that situation, you got to kind of know what's going to go, and you got to get up and run it because the clock is running. And the coaches just kind of waited, hoping the players would be able to get it going, and they couldn't. So then they had to call and burn the timeout. But they let precious seconds roll off that clock.
About 6. Once the chains were set, the clock was rolling at 25, so they let about 6 or 7 seconds leak off before the Tigers stopped the clock. They do have 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10 at the 15 of Roncalli. 28-7 our score. Roncalli leads in the waning moments here of this first half. 21-point second quarter for Roncalli. Roncalli's had 4 possessions and 4 touchdowns. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Harker drops the throw, has time, throws, and it's incomplete. At the goal line, he threw it over the opposite shoulder. The intended receiver slow to get up. That's Hunter Crew, the tight end, and he's slow to get up. He turned one way, and the ball came to the other shoulder, turned to the inside, and the pass went outside. Just 4 seconds, though, off the clock. 14 seconds to go.
When Hegwood was the one in coverage with him, and I think it even surprised Hegwood what way he opened up because he saw the ball going the other way, and they kind of bumped into each other because he opened up to the wrong side.
2nd and 10, 14 seconds left. Harker drops, rolls right, looks right, has room to run, takes off inside the 10,
Good
pulled
tackle.
down at the 9.
Good tackle.
And a timeout called with 6 seconds to go.
That was Tyson Garrett out there that made the tackle. He did a good job coming up, grabbing him, and making sure he pulled him down. Didn't let him get too close to that sideline.
They put the ball down at the 9, so pickup of 6, 3rd and 4. What's more important, though, is that there's only 6 seconds to go. There's probably only time for one more play. Lebanon calls its final timeout. We'll go ahead and stay here. Tonight's game brought to us by our friends at Indian American Credit Union, where you can get pre-approved and streamline the vehicle buying process. It's fast, free, and will take you down a quicker road to the car of your dreams. Visit imcu.com for more information. So Lebanon comes out. First, third down and 4 at the Roncalli 9. 28-7, Roncalli leads. 6 seconds to go here in the first half. One receiver to the wide side. 2 receivers to the short side. That's Jaden Ritchie on the short side right. Reese and Joseph wide side left. 3rd and 4 from the 6.
And you got Crew in a H-back slot to the left also.
6 seconds to go here in the half. Maybe the final play. Reese goes in motion. Harker gives to Reese. It's a design pass, and it's picked off. Picked off, and now some room to run. And tossed down. That's Michael Hegwood with the pick. J.C. Reese threw the number 24 through the pass on the trick play. Michael Hegwood was not fooled. There's a flag down. Hegwood, number 33, on the pick. Picked it off at the goal line and ran it out to the 6.
He had visions of taking it to the house, though.
Yeah, the clock shows triple zeros.
What? He said it was about the throw was behind or across the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, they're saying, I don't think, there's no way Reese was across the line of scrimmage.
There's no way. That's what they're calling, though.
Illegal forward pass. I think what they called it is because he shoveled that ball forward to Reese. So that's a forward pass when he shovels the ball forward to Reese, and then Reese threw it.
You don't think he handed it off to him?
No, he pitched it forward. Yeah, Reese came in front of him.
You can't do that. If he shoveled it forward,
yeah, I think that's the call.
That could be then.
So that interception is not credited, and it's a penalty, although the penalty was not accepted. So
service and dedication to Catholic education. At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 Roncalli High School Alumnus of the Year.
We direct your attention to the west 35-yard marker as we present our 2020 Alumnus of the Year Award to a member of Roncalli's class of 2003, Joey Newton. Joey has an unmatched excitement and enthusiasm for his students and a unique talent for inspiring not only the star singer, but the senior taking his class to fulfill a fine arts requirement. He encourages his students to excel and have fun at the same time. Award-winning choirs every year at the state level and outstanding school performances are proof that Joey Newton has built a choral program where the students work hard and enjoy a sense of accomplishment. One of his peers quotes, "Joey has truly turned the choral department into a desired destination for many students." He's married to another Roncalli graduate, his wife Stephanie Horan Newton, class of 2003, and they have 3 future Roncalli students, Eliza Rose, Vivian Therese, and Sylvie Marie. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating our Alumnus of the Year Award winner, Mr. Joey Newton. Yep, me. At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 Honorary Alumnus and Alumna of the Year. Again, we direct your attention to the west 35-yard marker, where tonight we are very proud to announce the 2020 Honorary Alumnus of the Year, our Director of Campus Grounds, Jamie Dees. 10 years ago, Jamie Dees was brought to Roncalli to maintain and enhance the beauty of our campus. Today, Roncalli boasts one of the nicest high school campuses in the state of Indiana, and much of the beauty can be attributed to Jamie. He's not only the keeper of the grounds, he's quick to volunteer to help out anyone needs an extra hand, whether it's the advancement office asking for help, setting up an event, or the athletic office needing someone to man a gate for an athletic event. Jamie's the man on the spot, ready to assist. He's escorted by his 4 children, Megan, Roncalli's class of 14, Joseph, class of 21, Kristen, class of 25, Joshua, and his dad and wife, Sherwood and Kathy Dees. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Honorary Alumnus of the Year, Mr. Jamie Dees. Our next honoree comes to us from the Roncalli Advancement Office. We're very proud to announce the 2020 Honorary Alumna of the Year, the Advancement Office Administrative Assistant, Fran Davey. For 13 years, Fran has been able to enthusiastically juggle the demands of helping Roncalli host the annual fun dinner, walkathon, homecoming, open house, revelation, and graduation without missing a beat. She's quick with a report or a new idea and never hesitates to jump in and help wherever she's needed. Her expertise in all things related to Roncalli fundraising has been an asset that has assisted the school in raising several $1 million for capital improvement during her time at Roncalli. Fran Davies' contribution to Roncalli cannot be underemphasized. Fran and her husband Marty, Roncalli class of 1982, have 5 children, all Roncalli graduates. Tony, class of 11, Michael, class of 13, Joseph, class of 15, Annie, class of 17, and Abby, class of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's honorary alumna of the year, Fran Davey. Let's take a moment and congratulate all 3 award winners today, Joey Newton, Jamie Dees, and Fran Davey. Congratulations. The Blues started in the southern United States at the turn of the 19th and 20th century. This year, the Roncalli Marching Band, during halftime performances, will be saluting this American music genre with their show, Red, White, and Blues. Tonight, they open their program with a song written and recorded by the great blues artist and multi-Grammy Award winner John Lee Hooker. Miss Kathy Peach is in her 38th year directing the Roncalli Marching Band, and she's assisted this year by drum majors Hayden Bean, Sam Morris, and Rob McKay. Ladies and gentlemen, your Roncalli Marching Band and the Grammy Award-winning song Boom Boom, featuring a solo by senior guitarist Hayden Bean.
Plugging this back in, so we're going to get Rob again. And when they take a break, we'll take the break with them. That'll be the first halftime break.
3 straight times after that to take this 3-score lead, 28-7. Lebanon on its 6 first-half possessions, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, including the one to end the half, and 3 punts. And we mentioned Roncalli, 4 out of 4 on its first-half possessions, all 4 touchdowns.
And you know, Harker's done a really good job with the offense. They've shortened the game. They've kept Roncalli's offense off the field for the most part with only 4 possessions. Unfortunately, the defense has not allowed Lebanon to stay in the game. But Harker's made a lot of plays with his feet and made some great throws on the run when he got flushed from the pocket. He's impressive.
Well, and not to bring it back to Roncalli, but I was just looking at the stats a little bit, and I don't want to, jump into anything else. Our own quarterback, Leffler's 6 for 6. I mean, if you're going to have this running back that you got to stop, and then, well, if your quarterback's going 6 for 6, 100%, I'll take that any day. And especially when you've got, after they come run up, the play fakes, really doing a good job, and then he throws it over the top, a touch pass, which Leffler's not really known for his touch passes, but, I mean, he just laid that up real high and soft and let the receiver run and get it. So as many plays as Harker is making with his legs and stuff, again, and good job to him, but let's not forget our guy either.
Absolutely. And when Huebler and Leffler are both on, I don't think there's anybody in 4A that's going to stop this offense. And I say all that. It all starts with the offensive line. I know you know that.
Oh, well, I was going to get ready to say that.
They've given us protection, and they've given Barron some holes, and they're really, really impressive, especially for a group that has no seniors on it.
I mean, Rob's giving us a break sign, but I'm going to talk through that. You do have to have that good line in there, but you also have to have that running back that's patient and letting them set that up. How many running backs run through that and don't let them set it up? So, I mean, yes, the linemen deserve their credit for sure, but you also then got to bring it back to the running back who's allowing them to make those plays. Now you can go to your break.
We'll go ahead and take a break now. That's a good point. 28-7 the score. Roncalli leads Lebanon at the break. Sectional final, Class 4A. We'll take a break, come back, tell you more about halftime festivities after this on the Essential St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network.
sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
COVID won't kill me.
It's been a long week. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 25. COVID won't kill me.
I'm partying outside. COVID won't kill
I
me.
don't need to wear a mask around my friends. COVID won't kill me.
I'm 23. COVID won't kill me.
If I haven't gotten it yet, COVID won't kill me.
I'm young. COVID won't kill me.
Famous last words. Don't let them be yours. Socially distance. Mask up, America.
Subject to credit approval. Now back to Roncalli football on CBS Sports 1430.
Rob Brown, Dan Bauer, Steve Wilson back with you at halftime on the Indian Members Credit Union halftime show. Roncalli leading Lebanon 28-7 in the sectional final. Winner will take on the winner of the Mount Vernon-Newcastle sectional final, going on at Newcastle. And right now, 5 minutes or so to go in the half. Mount Vernon leads 21-0 in that one. We'll also get you some scores from other games. We did not mention there's two other Circle City Conference teams in action, and they're playing each other. Bishop Chatard at Brebeuf Jesuit in Class 3A. Heritage Christian with a really solid season. They're 7-2. They're at Shenandoah in 2A. Lutheran hosting Covenant Christian. That's a big 1A matchup, number 2 versus number 5. In that one, Center Grove hosting Columbus East in 6A. Just up the road from us, Ben Davis is at Perry Meridian in 6A. Lawrence North at Warren. And Decatur Central is at Cathedral at Arlington tonight in 5A. And then maybe the biggest game of the night, Dan, Decatur, New Pal, number 5 against 4A Whiteland, number 4 Whiteland.
Yeah.
Both those teams 8-1. That's a huge 5A matchup. The winner gets Cathedral.
Yeah, that'd be a fun game to watch. And I'm guessing that Whiteland's actually favored in that game. New Pal's obviously they had the one loss, to Mount Vernon. Thank you.
Yes.
And then short of that, I mean, they come in undefeated, but they're not blowing people out like they have in the past. So it kind of evens things up there. And you mentioned the Circle City Conference, Chatard playing Brebeuf. Chatard had to knock off Guerin Catholic the week before, so they bunched that whole Circle City group right into the same sectional, and in this year back-to-back games. So it's almost unfair for that conference.
Well, we mentioned too the south half of the bracket. In 4A, Mooresville leading Martinsville 31-14 at the break. That Central Evansville Memorial game getting started a little later, an hour later from us, so they're just getting underway here about 10 minutes ago.
I don't know people at home that watch the Sagarin ratings or anything, but they moved Mooresville ahead of Roncalli last week after Roncalli beat somebody 57-7, and they fall in the rankings. How's that happen?
Blasphemy.
It is, yes, but they moved Mooresville up to number 2, so they jumped ahead of Roncalli. But in that Mooresville team, they've got 3 or 4 Division I players. They are the real deal this year. So not necessarily a known juggernaut, but this year they are the real team.
Well, our sports update, usually the fall sports update. The football team, the only fall sports team still alive, but we've got winter sports getting underway. The girls basketball team starts tomorrow. Regular season opener at Beech Grove, 1:30 tip. We'll have the game for you on RoncalliMediaNetwork.com. Girls team with 4 starters back, including Maddie Bischoff, the senior who is 2 points away from 1,000 in her career. Again, we'll have that for you tomorrow at about 1:15 with the pregame show on RoncalliMediaNetwork.com. Wrestling team started practice on Monday. Wade McClurrick's program graduating 2 state champions, but returns sophomore Bryce Lowry, who finished 4th in the state at 106 pounds. Also returning Cody Glithero, Zach Wilson, Sam Peebles have all won conference championships. The deep program, Coach McClurg has done a great job of building that program up. They'll reload and be very competitive this year, be a factor on the state level. Then the girls swim team started practice last week, returning last year's team MVP, senior Maggie Peets, who owns 3 school records. So that's our sports update around the way. We'll go ahead and take a break, come back, we'll talk about some stats, and take you up to the start of the second half. Roncalli leads Lebanon 28-7. We're back after this 2-minute pause on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network.
mission of the Roncalli High School Alumni Association is to be a contributing branch of Roncalli High School in providing sources of assistance for maintaining the academic standards of the school. Our goal is to strengthen our alumni base by renewing and fostering the bonds of friendship and to promote continued involvement of graduates from Sacred Heart, Kennedy, Chartran, and Roncalli. If you'd like to be part of the Roncalli Alumni Association, please email Gary Armbruster at garmbruster@roncalli.org.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded, want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of peers. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu. Ready, Matt?
Schedule online, anytime. Getting an appointment with Ascension Care Teams at St. Vincent just got easier with online scheduling. Now you don't have to break away from your day to book the care you need when and where you need it. No matter where you are or what you're up to, whether you're a new patient or if you've been here before, just pick the appointment that works for you. Schedule online, anytime at getstvincentcare.com.
The second half of Roncalli football on CBS Sports 1430 starts now.
Rob Brown, Dan Bauer, Steve Wilson back with you. Just a couple minutes away from the start of the second half. Roncalli leading Lebanon 28-7. Roncalli get the ball to start the second half. Thank you, everyone, for listening tonight. Give some shout-outs. Patrick Hudspeth, the baseball assistant coach, is checking in. Chris Render, thank you for listening. Appreciate Chris checking in with us. Sean Harlow checking in from Sun City, Florida, watching on the network with Bob and Sean Harlow, Peg and Larry Campbell. Proud parents and grandparents of junior lineman Justin Lewis, who's gotten some time here in the last couple games,
Yes,
and he's going to be in the mix with that group next year. Jody Pollock checking in. Appreciate that. Jody always likes it when we talk about the offensive linemen. So,
well, and I was going to say, when you came back from break before, we didn't get to it because of the fall sports update and everything else, but we talked, Steve and I were talking about the linemen and how good they were doing, and we don't ever really talk about them, so I'm going to take a little bit of time. Luke Scartweet, Grant Ray, Sam Seacrest, Trevor Lauk, Drew Klaus, those guys are the linemen that we talked about. And I'm going to have to also throw in Michael Gallagher because he lines up at the tight end spot, plays that H-back or fullback. He's up in there rubbing it up like a lineman would. So those guys are just doing a great job right now. And then while I've got the microphone, the other thing, the band was out playing, and they do their wonderful job. And then they've got like 3 bass guitars and a guitar solo that is unstoppable out there. And I don't know how many marching bands give guitar solos in the middle of it.
I don't know. He was shredding, though.
Hayden Bean is the guitar soloist.
Nice.
And he deserves recognition in this broadcast because he was laying it down.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Until the feedback in the end.
Until the feedback.
But short of that, it was a really nice solo.
Ryan Schneer checking in. He reminds us, Dan, that the St. Barnabas Warriors third grade and cadet teams watching Roncalli tonight in preparation for CYO Championship weekend. So
yes.
Good luck to all the
Go Warriors.
Both the Warriors and all the South Deanery teams playing for championships this weekend. Former Roncalli quarterback Dan Hammerschmidt checking in, flipping back and forth between the game and a classic rerun of Diagnosis Murder.
What?
Dan Diekoff checking in, Dan. I know
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row we've heard from Dan.
Yeah.
The winner of tonight would play either Mount Vernon or Newcastle in the regional next week. We mentioned that Mount Vernon is leading that game 21-0. Charlie Audrey and Patrick Belch cheering on Uncle Critch Belch from the living room in the north side, right in the heart of Immaculate Heart territory. Lawrence Stimson checking in. Always great to hear from him. And the bowling coaches, Mike Glenn and Paula Tharp, are in the building tonight. Usually they're home listening, but they're actually on the premises tonight.
Nice.
Bowling season getting underway as well.
I think they're wearing their wrist, what do they call those things?
The wrist brace?
Cheering with the
that
wrist
you'd wear at the
brace.
bowling alley?
Yeah. That's normally there. They might bring it here and say, I'm ready. Or maybe not, Bob.
Roncalli gets the kick to start the second half. Lebanon won the toss and elected to have the ball first. Stephen Ranazizzi and Luke Jones teaming up to handle our audio responsibilities up on our CBS Sports 1430 flagship. Our video crew tonight doing a great job. Good to have them back with us for the first time in about 6 weeks. Hannah Taylor, our director, Reese Gosser on the graphics, Ben Taylor, Ethan Gorski on the cameras. Michaela Belden is our producer in the booth tonight. Hustling back and forth the length of the press box. Jacob Taylor's our coordinating producer, and Stefan Welsh, our executive producer. And it's good to see the big cheese of the Roncalli Media Network, the straw who stirs the drink, Gary Armbruster.
Is he here?
Roaming the premises tonight.
I haven't seen him.
Kick is away. Ryan Henry takes it for Roncalli at the 10. Angling toward the far sideline, now cuts back and tripped up at the right hash at the 25. Nice play. Ryan Henry, number 12. That's a nice play by Mackay Smith to trip him up. So 1st and 10 Roncalli at its own 25 to start this second half with a 28-7 lead. Settling in here. Aidan Leffler leads the offense out. Cole Beckman split wide to the left. Caden Gore slot right. John Troxell wide right. Michael Gallagher and Baron Huebler on either side of Leffler. Leffler fakes the give to Huebler, spins out of an initial tackle and works his way back to the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by Lebanon. Sent that play sideways, and Leffler with a nice effort just to get back to the line of scrimmage. And first man in there was number 47, the linebacker, Camden Williamson. Doesn't have a whole lot of size, but, man, he was in there in a hurry. 5'9", 170-pounder.
And you're exactly right, Rob, that what blew that whole play up was the penetration by Lebanon. They had more guys in the backfield than Roncalli did, and there was just nowhere for anybody to run.
No gain, 2nd and 10. Lebanon crowds the line, give to Huebler. Barron accelerates up the sideline, now cuts back inside, accelerates again, and he's out near the 40 and a first down.
Brought down by number 7. That's Nicholas Taylor. That run's good for a Roncalli first.
I think Barron's over 100 yards, I believe.
Acceleration is the key word.
He's at 88 right now. 1st and 10 at the 40, gain of 15. And they give to Michael Gallagher, his first carry. Turns upfield, gets around in before he's wrestled out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Boy, Gallagher went a long way north-south, turned it up east-west finally to get 6 before he's wrestled out of bounds by Mackay Smith.
Gain of 6. 2nd down, ball at the 46-yard line.
Pickup of 6. 2nd down and 4. Leffler getting everyone arranged pre-snap.
Mad signaling down there on the sideline.
Gallagher behind him. Give to Gallagher. Gallagher hesitating up the middle, and he's near the line to gain, which is just shy of the 50.
Yeah, that was Gallagher. And he had a good finish at the end where it looked like he was going to be about 4 yards short, and he
3rd down and 1. Leffler gets in a deep crouch, takes the snap for the quick snap, and I'm not sure he got it.
No, I don't think he did.
Nope, he didn't. Good pressure up front, good push. That was number 53, Trevon Bell, leading the push there. And Roncalli up the line to go for it on 4th and 1, a long one at its own 49. Leffler tried the hard count. Lebanon stayed true. 4th and call it 2 at the 48. Trying to get everyone organized pre-snap. Huebler finally settles to the left of Leffler. Aidan on the keeper, accelerates, lowers the shoulder, and he barges his way to the 45. Boy, Leffler got some momentum, and that was more than enough to move the chains. And a first down.
Well, and Rob, there was some confusion about what side of the ball we're going to be on or what's our alignment look like. And Huebler finally just went to the left side and became a fullback. He just ran right off tackle, and Leffler followed him up through the hole and then cut back when he saw daylight. So really nice play.
1st and 10 at the Lebanon 45. Leffler fakes the give to Huebler, and Lebanon was not fooled. Leffler's tossed down back at the 50-yard line. Oh, my. That was Mekhi Smith, number 37, the sophomore, who made a great play. He did not follow Huebler at all. He was honed in on Leffler for a loss of 5. Back to the 50.
Well, they brought Drew Klauser over in a pull, which if you're a linebacker and you're reading that pull, it takes you right to the line of where that point of attack is. And I think that's what he did, followed that pulling guard, and he was there for the play.
2nd down and 15. Play clock at 5. Leffler lines up Gallagher and H-back. Leffler takes the snap, fakes the give, looks, flush, throw, pumps, and the ball's out. Leffler's hit, the ball's out, and it looks like Lebanon has it. And they do. Turnover created. Drew Terrell came out with it.
Was it him or Nick Finney?
Or Nick Finney, beg your pardon, number 54. Nick Finney came out with it. And Roncalli turns it over for the 2nd time tonight. Good field position for Lebanon. It's the first time since week 2 that Roncalli has had second week in a row, I beg your pardon, with 2 turnovers.
Yeah, they had the interception
First time all year that they've turned it over. They've fumbled twice in a game. Lost fumbles twice in a game. 1st and 10 at the Roncalli 45 for Lebanon. Second straight Lebanon possession beginning in plus territory. Harker drops, hesitates, waits, throws a short route, and it's incomplete pass.
Yes, incomplete.
Yes,
the guy in the middle
incomplete. Intended for J.C. Reese. Dominic Brown and Reese got in a wrestling match with the football, and the official that was right there on the play initially signaled a catch.
He did, yes. He didn't have a good eye on it. The umpire coming from the middle saw where it hit the ground, and so he was making a call. Just took him a while to get there. I was going to say something, but I forget now.
You're okay. 2nd and 10 at the 45. Harker gives to Bowen on the delay. He pounds his way up the right hash, spinning out to the 42. Give him 3 to the 42, 3rd down and 7.
Now I remember I was going to say Harker threw it to the wrong side of the receiver. That was what caused the problem on that side. If he throws it to the outside of him, it's a completion. The receiver had to come back, but it came right back into where the defense was, and it caused a whole bunch of people in the middle there, and that ball to hit the ground.
3rd down and 7 at the Roncalli 42 for Lebanon. 28-7, Roncalli leads. Harker drops, quick throw, and it's incomplete upfield. Joseph, the intended receiver, number 11, he turned for the football late, and the ball was already by him.
Yeah, it was a timing route, and one guy was on time, the other guy wasn't.
The timing was not in sync. To see former Roncalli offensive lineman and coach Justin Hornick checking in tonight. He's watching the game outside. Great night to sit outside and watch the game. Appreciate having Coach Hornick with us. 4th down and 7, Lebanon forced to go for it here, down 3 scores with 8:10 to go in the 3rd. High snap, Harker tips it to himself. Now the play breaks down. Harker stiff arm Owen Volk, plants, throws, and it's deflected, incomplete. Intended for J.C. Reese. He was inside the 30. That was going to be a first down. Boy, you don't see a quarterback stiff arm a defensive end very often.
No, you don't.
Oh, my. But the pass incomplete. Roncalli gets it back on the turnover on down. So the turnover by Roncalli does not come back to haunt him.
Well, you also had the ability to stop the ball as it was going. It looked like a third baseman, although it was over his head, and he was able to tip it straight up and gather it because that ball was going to fly over his head if he didn't stop it from there. Then he ends up making a good play on the side with the stiff arm. There was some complaining that there should have been pass interference, but the ball was tipped, so that allows, kind of throws that out the window.
First and 10. Give to Huebler. Barron accelerates. He's still on his feet. He's into the secondary. He's up the sideline before he's pushed out of bounds at the 40. He changes speed so easily and takes it into Lebanon territory for a first down. Gain of 18.
And that was the play. It looked like there was nothing there. I mean, the Lebanon was in the right position. The linemen were kind of there, but they're more in the way than anything, and he still made space out of it.
Screen pass in the right flat to Caden Gore, and he's tossed out of bounds at the 36. First catch of the night for Caden. J.C. Reese tossed him out. Put him down at the 35. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Baron Huebler over 100 yards, says our statistician Bob Michael 106. 19th time in the last 23 games, Barron's been over 100 yards. Goes back to last season. Leffler on the quarterback keep. Cuts outside, now back inside. Now working his way back toward the numbers, and he slams his way down inside the 20 for another first down.
That was some good running of his own there. He did some nice cuts. Again, let some blockers get up in front of him, and then just kind of ran over people in the end. Had all that momentum, and he just kept moving towards the goal line.
18-yard run for Leffler. He takes it again on 1st and 10 at the 17. He's stacked up at the 14 and dropped immediately. Give him the 13 on forward progress. Pick up a 4. Host of white shirts there, among them Camden Williamson. Down to the 13, so give him 4. 2nd down and 6. Roncalli trying to move quickly here. Offensive line is down and ready to go on 2nd and 6. Leffler. Fake to give to Huebler, put it on the ground again, but he's able to fall on it and recover. Oh, my. It's the third Roncalli fumble of the night. Lost 2. And that time, Dan, just some miscommunication perhaps between Leffler and Huebler.
Yeah, I think there was, this uncertainty on what they really wanted to do with it. And they kind of neither wanted to do anything with it. But Kobe Ottinger was there to put him down. He almost had the turnover.
Loss of 2 on the play, 3rd and 9. Leffler fakes the give, rolls, looks downfield, throws, has a man snared and caught.
Wow.
Quick catch and traffic by Caden Gore. And I think he's got the first down. He needed the 7. And let's see where they put it down. They spotted him short? Or he needed the 6, beg your pardon.
It was right at the sticks, it looks like.
Boy, it looks like it was right at the sticks.
Well, and he had Michael Gallagher sitting all alone kind of in the same area. Maybe they're going to measure it now.
Yep, call for the measurement. He needed the 7. It's right at the line to gain.
But he had Michael Gallagher sitting right there coming towards the sideline. I thought, okay, that's going to be an easy pitch and catch. And then he rifled the ball in there to Caden Gore. And Caden had a guy in his back, had a hand in there. He did a great job of being able to catch it because it was 100 miles an hour. And they had a guy draped all over him. So nice concentration by Gore to bring that ball in.
So the chains come in from across the way on the visiting sideline, the southern sideline. And looks
short.
like this short. Yep, short by about 6 inches. 4th down and 1. Just outside the 7. No question that Roncalli is going to go for it here.
Now they're remeasuring it again.
Oh, wait a second now.
Oh, it's probably just to get the ball to the middle.
Make sure they get the chains lined up.
Yep.
And calibrated correctly.
Now they got to set it up again. They make sure and place the ball in the right spot so they don't give them a first down accidentally and they moving the ball.
Yeah, 4th down and 6. Things take a little bit longer when Rick Diaz is in charge.
I was talking to Rick. He didn't appreciate our comments about him, so I have to call him and tell him we're up here talking
That's
about
our
him.
guy, Rick Diaz.
He laughed about it.
On the chain crew, the leader of the chain crew, with the visor there, of those of you watching at home. Holding the front end of the 10-yard chain. 4th and less than a yard for Roncalli. Ball at the 8 of Lebanon. Leffler in shotgun. Tight formation, Gallagher, H-back left, Leffler on the keeper. He lowers the shoulder and falls across the 5 for an easy first down. First and goal.
Yeah, with Michael Gallagher up there in the H-back spot and Huebler next to him, they've got blocking advantage going to that left side. Yeah,
They actually gave him the 4, so pick up a 4 officially. First and goal, again to Leffler on the delay. He walks it into the end zone for a touchdown. Aidan's first touchdown of the night. That's his 15th rushing touchdown of the season. And Roncalli leads this ball game 34-7 with 5:20 to go in the third quarter. Luke Russell on for the PAT try. Luke is 4 for 4 tonight. Back in the lineup after missing the last 5 games due to injury. Caden Gore on the hold. Good snap. Luke, plenty of leg. Right down the middle. So Roncalli scores first to start the second half. Aidan Leffler from 4 yards out. 35-7 our score, 5:20 to go. We're going to take a 30-second break here in the third quarter and come right back. It's Roncalli football on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network. Well, Roncalli drives 58 yards for the score, capped by Aidan Leffler's 4-yard touchdown run. 35-7 our score, 5:20 to go in the third quarter. After this kickoff, we'll go down to Steve Wilson. I want to see what Steve saw on that last drive, specifically on the how Roncalli was able to run the ball and the delays there. John Troxell handling the kickoff chores. Cole Beckman did one of the kickoffs in the second half, or second quarter, rather. But John's back out there. J.C. Reese, number 24, and Nicholas Kaler, number 7, are deep for the Tigers. 35-7 our score. Troxell ready to go. Takes his run up and hits a low sidewinding kick that Kaler takes at the 8. Kaler right up the middle of the field, accelerates, and then he's dragged down at about the 23. And Lebanon will begin there. Let's go down to Steve. Steve, Roncalli's had a little bit of an issue with that mesh point between Leffler and Huebler in that third quarter.
Yeah, they did, and it's something that we haven't really seen this year, but I mean, throughout the course of a season, I suppose you're going to get that every now and again, but you know, they're getting such a good push, especially on that left side, and it was just good power football, and Leffler got the easy score there at the end.
First and 10 for Lebanon at its own 24-yard line. Roncalli leads 35-7. Harker fakes the give. Brownfield collapses the pocket and is caught by Hunter Crew in traffic, and he works his way out across the 30-yard line. Boy, Tyson Garrett almost had an interception there, but Hunter Crew instead made a nice catch with defenders all around him, and then was able to run it down to the 33-yard line for some extra yardage after the catch.
I think Tyson Garrett thought he had an interception there because he was in perfect spot, put his hands up there to get it, but as you said, Hunter Crew just went up, and he's a little bit bigger kid and a little longer arms. I think he reached out and got it.
Pickup of 9, 2nd and 1 at the 11-33. 4:35 left in the third quarter. High snap, Harker gathers, steps, plants, throws in the pocket, and complete. Threw it behind his intended receiver, Joseph, number 11. Was another timing play where the receiver did not turn around, and by the time he did, the ball was past him.
Well, it looked like he was kind of setting a pick for the inside receiver there, so. Well, it's illegal, but that's what he was doing.
It happens occasionally,
yeah.
right?
If they don't call it, and those referees don't call anything.
Lebanon scored on second possession of the night early in the second quarter. Roncalli has scored 28 points consecutive since to take this 28-point lead. 3rd down and 1. Harker,
Ooh,
high snap again. The delay give to Bowen, and that allows Roncalli to blow the play up. Brady New got in there first, as did Luke Swartz, was right there with him. And the timing there, Dan, that was the key, that high snap.
Yeah, it was another play where that ball was going to go 20 yards over after it went over the quarterback. But he did a good job getting up. But when he goes up to get it, that running back's already by you, so he's lucky just to get that ball in his gut. But yeah, the timing's off, and you have no momentum because the running back's kind of waiting for the ball.
Girdley punts it away, and it goes over the head of Dominic Brown. Takes a high bounce, and Dom gets away from it. Hunter Crew downs it inside the Roncalli 40, and the home team will begin there. We'll go ahead and stay here. Tonight's game brought to us by Indy Teledata. Trouble with your phones or computers considering video surveillance? Contact Indy Teledata. They provide technology solutions to local businesses and organizations, including Roncalli High School. Indy Teledata, a proud supporter of Roncalli Athletics and Fine Arts. For complete details, visit them at indyteledata.com. 3:45 left here in the third quarter. Roncalli at home, leading 35-7. Roncalli playing a home game in the blue jerseys for the first time since 1989. Leffler takes the snap, steps up, throws, has a man upfield, caught immediately at the 44-yard line by John Troxell. I believe that's John's 3rd catch of the night. Pickup of 6, 2nd down and 4.
Good job.
Lebanon's gotten some pressure in the pocket
That's
here.
what I was going to say. Leffler did a good job of getting rid of that quickly because there was pressure on him right away. If he held it a little bit longer, he was going down.
The pocket has not been as crisp here in this second half. Leffler has time to throw on this 2nd down play, and he's got a man, Cole Beckman, up the field for a 1st down. Cole works his way inside the 50, and he's tossed down at the Lebanon 47. Makai Smith on the stop, but not before Cole has a 1st down catch. I don't believe Leffler has thrown an incompletion yet. He was 6 for 6. He's 10 for 10.
Wow.
He was 6 for 6 at the half. He drops, throws, screen pass there to Huebler. Barron makes a man miss, still on his feet, juking his way to the 45.
And a late flag.
And a flag came in late.
Face mask, I think.
Barron tackled by J.C. Reese at the 45. Scott Fisher, our referee tonight.
Huebler did a good job that time of using his hands to keep guys off of him. Not a stiff arm type, but kind of like the Karate Kid type, where he's getting those hands away from him and allows him to keep going up the field.
Is that a fence painting reference?
Yes,
Paint
it
the
is.
Fence?
Wipe on, wipe off.
Yeah. 5-yard face mask tacked onto the end of the play. So it's 2nd down, and the down counts, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so it should be 2nd down and about 2. 2nd down and 2 at the 39. Leffler drops, throws over the middle, caught.
Nice.
Caught on a spinning catch by Ryan Henry. Ryan Henry, number 12. His 1st catch of the season. We've not seen Henry and Papandrea, Dan, who are defensive backs who did play some wide receiver last year.
Yeah.
They've not been pressed into service this year, but both Papandrea and Henry have made catches tonight.
Well, and Papandrea has 3 interceptions. Henry has 2 interceptions, so they've caught the ball this year, just not from being passed from our team.
Leffler on the quarterback run.
Whoa.
Up the middle, it evaporates quickly, and he's pulled down right at the 25-yard line.
Well, he went to cut, and his
Kobe Ottinger on the stop.
His foot kind of slipped out from under him, kind of like he had a flat tire or something, and he couldn't get out, so he just kind of gave himself up, and they brought him down.
I've been told it was wax on, wax off.
What did I say?
You said wipe.
Did I say?
You did.
It is wax.
You did.
You're right. Dang it.
Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, I thought I had it.
Trips formation to the left side of Leffler. Ryan Henry, the lone receiver on the short side, on 2nd and 10. Leffler gives to Huebler. Barron jams on the brakes, then accelerates again. He's still on his feet. He's pulled down from behind at the 22. Hayden Gibbs pulled him down from behind. That's a lot of moves for a 3-yard gain.
It is, but I was talking to a couple guys earlier today about the frustration of when you're there to make the tackle, and that running back's got such acceleration speed that you end up getting air, and that's even on a 3-yard gain. He made 2 guys grab air that couldn't bring him down.
Final minute of the third quarter. Roncalli leads 35-7, facing a 3rd and 7 here at the Lebanon 22. Leffler in the flat, caught by Ryan Henry, has to make a move. He cuts inside. He's tackled at the 16, shy of the line to gain by Mackay Smith. Sets up 4th down and 1.
Makes it 4th down and 1 at the 16-yard line.
Leffler still has not thrown an incomplete pass. Clock running, inside 20 seconds to go. Third quarter, 4th and 1. Leffler on the keep behind Huebler. Lowers the shoulder and drives his way down to the 10, another 1st down. That is going to be, the clock will stop for a moment to reset the chains, but that should be the final play of the quarter.
And that's such a great play. You get Scartweet and Ray blocking down on their guys, then you bring Huebler up and kick the guy out, and then just follow the quarterback in this case here, running the ball right in between those blockers, and it's an easy 1st down.
That's the final play of the quarter. We'll head to the break. Take a 30-second break. Roncalli leads on the Beck Service Center scoreboard 35-7. 12 minutes away from the sectional championship when we return on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network.
A licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Now back to Roncalli football on CBS Sports 1430.
And we head to the final quarter, 35-7. The score, Roncalli leads on the Beck Service Center scoreboard. Roncalli looking at 1st and 10, 1st and goal at the 10 when we resume, heading toward the east end zone. And a nice note from Bev Dees, watching tonight in Chandler, Arizona. Mother of Jamie Dees, Roncalli head groundskeeper, who got, I believe, the honorary alum award tonight at halftime. Good to see Jamie get recognized for all of his efforts and appreciate.
Hard worker.
Bev Dees checking in with us tonight from Chandler, Arizona. He was the assistant groundskeeper, I believe. Wasn't the Scottish guy the head groundskeeper?
I think he
Bushwood
was.
Country Club. 1st and goal at the 10 for Roncalli to start this final quarter.
No Gophers around here,
nope.
though.
Leffler looks left, throws, has a man. He's wide open. It's a touchdown, Caden Gore. That's the 3rd touchdown of the year for Caden Gore. And Leffler throws his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. And it's 41-7. It's a 10-yard pass, 2nd 10-yard touchdown pass of the night for Leffler. Luke Russell is on for the PAT. Caden Gore, who just scored the touchdown, is the holder. Good snap. Russell, plenty of leg right down the chute. Cheerleaders on that back of the end zone at the east end. Russell knocks it through.
And you're better at this than I am, but as I was looking through the record book, Isn't 13 of 13 the record for 100% completion?
Well, right now Leffler
and he's got 15 of 15.
is 15 of 15.
Or 14 of 14.
14 of 14. And the single game completion record is 13 for 13, which Derek O'Connor pulled off in the regular season finale at Guerin Catholic that clinched the Circle City Conference Championship on the way to that 15-0 season. I knew that it was 13 for 13 was the record. I was not going to say it out loud.
Well, in other words, I wasn't
jinxing a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Well, he still has to navigate the rest of the game without throwing it in completion.
I'd be telling the coach right now, hey, coach, we're running the rest of the way out.
Well, that's a thought. Let's see what Steve Wilson has to say about all this discussion about Leffler being on track to break the single game completion percentage record.
You don't throw no more.
See, that's what I say.
Why risk it?
Well, we'll see how this unfolds.
Put number 2 in.
Well, actually, he did throw an interception. No, he did not throw an interception.
Oh.
We had 2 fumbles. 2 fumbles. So, yeah, Leffler is 14 for 14.
John Troxell set to kick off for Roncalli. 24 J.C. Reese.
John Troxell out to kick it away.
Nicholas Kaler to receive for the Tigers.
Troxell puts a foot into it. It's a short kick. And is taken on a hop by Kaler at the 16-yard line. He works his way out near the 25.
On the return, gets out to about the 24-yard line. Brought down by number 10 for Roncalli, Lucas Erickson.
We'll see what Leffler's yardage numbers are and Huebler's rushing yards when we get a chance. 1st and 10 for Lebanon at the 24. 42-7 is our score.
Leffler is 193 in the air. Huebler's got
Oh, ball's on the ground.
Ball's on the ground and squirts forward to the 26.
Couldn't tell who covered it, if anybody.
Look like
there was a line.
Lebanon has it. Roncalli has it. No. Yep, Roncalli does have it. And who got it? Did not see who came out of the stack with it.
I'm not sure either.
So Barron Huebler has 109 yards on the night. So Lebanon turns it over.
Joe Curd was celebrating a lot.
Joe Curd, number 22,
but
was in the stack with it.
He was. He came out pretty happy.
And that last Roncalli touchdown triggered the running clock.
Look who's quarterbacking.
Caden Gore is in at quarterback.
There's our answer.
Roncalli takes over on the 27. This is the 6th time in the last 8 games that Roncalli has triggered the running clock, which means they've had a lead at some point of at least 35 points. Gore in the flat throw, caught by Sam Gallagher. When he went down low to get it, he put his knee down the turf, so he's downed himself. It's number 87, Sam Gallagher, on the catch. But a loss of 1 on the play, 2nd down. So Caden Gore with a touchdown catch is now in at quarterback. And presumably Aidan Leffler done for the night, and it will be in the record books with a 14 for 14 performance.
As if he wasn't already listed in enough winning combinations for the honor roll.
They give up the middle. Now George Martin's under center, the sophomore quarterback. And the give up the middle was Nick McCary, number 28. Well, let's see here.
28 or 20? I think it's 20.
That's number 20, excuse me. Nick McCary on the run, the junior. His first rush of the season. Nick McCary, number 20, is in there at the tailback. George Martin, the sophomore, is in at quarterback on 3rd down and 9 at the 26. Martin keeps it himself, goes around right end, tries to get inside the 25, and he's slammed down there. Forward progress gave him a yard. George Martin, number 8, the sophomore quarterback. 4th down and 8. Mackay Smith tackling Martin. Clock rolling. Roncalli certainly in no hurry If Mount Vernon holds on to their lead at Newcastle tonight, Mount Vernon would host the regional next week. For those of you wondering, we'll talk more about that in the postgame show. Martin fakes, throws in the flat to Gallagher. He makes a move, tries to get out of a stiff arm. He's tackled at the 20, but that's shy of the line to gain, which was the 17. So Roncalli turns it over on downs.
Short of the first down. Tigers take over.
First and 10. Lebanon at its own 20-yard line, inside 8.5 minutes to go.
Also the 20-yard line.
Clock rolling, 42-7 is our score. So Aidan Leffler finishes the night for Roncalli at quarterback. 14 for 14, that's a new completion record. Give for Lebanon, that's Stillwell around in. He's able to work his way out to the 25. John Stillwell, number 23 on the carry.
Sam Cantwell on the tackle. Number 71 for Roncalli.
Newcastle has pulled it within a score, 21-17.
Whoa.
21-14, beg your pardon, against Mount Vernon. Harker drops, flings it out in the flat to Reese. He's got a catch at the 25, makes first two men miss, but there's just too many blue shirts, and Reese put down at the 26. Too many blue shirts around Reese. He gets a gain of 1. Johnny Rader in on the stop.
That makes it 3rd down and 4.
3rd down and 4. Yeah, last score we got was a halftime score, Mount Vernon and Newcastle. Mount Vernon leading 21-14. 3rd down and 4 for the Tigers. 6.5 minutes to go. Harker, long time, heaves it down the middle of the field. Blue shirts all over the place, and it's broken up by Andrew Ball at the Roncalli 40. Ball, who had an interception in each of the last 2 games, knocks that one away. Hunter Crew, number 16, the intended receiver. And it's 4th down and 4. Fourth down and 4 at the 26 of Lebanon. Lebanon scored to tie the game at 7 early in the second quarter, and Roncalli has scored 35 straight points to put this game away. Harker rolls left, throws, looks, and a leaping catch at the 36-yard line. What a nice catch by number 12, Caden Bogus. He jumped up, did not control it initially, but tipped it to himself and gathered it on his way down for a first down catch on 4th and 4.
That ball was coming hot and high, so he did a really good job to leap up as high as he could to kind of just slow the ball down and, like you say, Rob, tip it to himself.
That was number 12, Caden Bogus, on the catch. 1st and 10 at the 36 for Lebanon. Inside 5.5 minutes to go. Harker drops, has time in the pocket, stands in, heaves it down the left side, has a man there, and it is broken up, incomplete. Intended receiver there was J.C. Reese, number 24, and that was Greg Kirkman, number 6, running in coverage.
Ball ended up being slightly underthrown, which allowed Kirkman to kind of catch up to it and knock that ball out.
Well, the Lebanon students across the way just unleashed a cloud of something.
Chalked themselves,
but now the cloud is drifting toward the field. That's less than ideal.
The cheerleaders are waving their pom-poms, trying to breathe.
2nd and 10. Harker stands in the pocket, throws a rifle. It's picked off! Leaping interception by Daniel O'Connor at the 47-yard line. That had all sorts of heat on it, and O'Connor went up high to get it. 3rd Roncalli interception of the night. First career interception for Daniel O'Connor. My, oh my, what a play.
He's getting all kinds of congratulations down there on the sidelines. There's a lot of happy people for him right now.
We've talked a lot about Garrett Harker's arm. That had all sorts of mustard on it. And O'Connor snatched it out of the air. for the third Roncalli interception of the night. And the fourth takeaway of the night for the Roncalli defense. Roncalli with 2 turnovers of its own tonight. That was Nick McCary again on the carry for Roncalli, number 20. No gain. So Roncalli tonight is +2. That means, Dan, through 11 games, Roncalli is +21 on turnover differential. Is that good?
Wow, that's slightly. I mean, that's just an incredible number.
Just got word that Dan Hammerschmidt's mother and sister, Linda and Leanne, are listening up in Wisconsin tonight.
Nice.
Appreciate them listening. Dan Hammerschmidt, former quarterback here at Roncalli in the late 80s. McCary again on the run, down to the 44. Up in Madison, Wisconsin, listening tonight.
They know how to play football in Madison.
They may be counting votes tonight. Maybe they're up there in Wisconsin counting some votes. 3rd down and 7 at the 44. Clock rolling, inside 2.5 minutes to go.
I did like the John Rodenberg for president.
I saw that. I saw that on social media earlier this week. McCary again, he's dropped back for a loss. Back at the 46-yard line. That's Nick Finney who got him down.
You've called that kid's name a couple times tonight, Finney.
He's been active. 4th down and 8 for Roncalli. Content to just run this one out.
If Rodenberg was one of the choices, I would have voted for him.
No question. He would not be counting votes anywhere. He'd be decisive.
Roncalli taking all of the play clock. Well, you look at some of these teams, Dan, that Roncalli has running clocked.
Oh.
This certainly was not our expectation tonight.
Nope.
But that offense just so explosive, it continues to do so. McCary's dragged down from behind at the 45. And Roncalli turns it over on downs. Nick Finney on the stop. Lebanon will come out and run a couple plays, and that'll be it. Clock rolling, as it has for most of this fourth quarter, when Roncalli scored early in the fourth to take this 35-point lead. By rule, it's a 35-point advantage triggers the running clock as early as the start of the third quarter. Harker in the shotgun with Stillwell behind him. Gives to Stillwell. Sam Cantwell tries to pull him down from behind. Stillwell drags him forward for a couple. 2nd down. And that likely is the final play. Well, they've got time for one more. The play clock is about 8 seconds ahead of the game clock. And this likely is the final play of the game. Harker in shotgun. 2nd and 8 at the Lebanon 48. High snap. Harker taps it to himself. Looks downfield. Has time to throw over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for J.C. Reese, number 24. And with the game clock at 10, neither team has any intention of snapping this again. And that will do it. So Roncalli scores the game's final 35 points behind its trademark second quarter burst. And wearing the blue jerseys for the first time in 30 years, Roncalli grabs sectional championship number 21. Put in the trophy case and head to Mount Vernon for a rematch of last year's regional. We'll take a break, come back. Our final score from Roncalli tonight. Roncalli 42, Lebanon 7. We will take a break and come back. When we do, we'll have all of the particulars on tonight's Steve's Flowers and Gifts postgame show coming up next on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network.
I like this beat. It's nice. Give me some more bass. A little more bass here. These are nice. Wish they had them at the adult hospital next door. I think I'm gonna make this giraffe green.
That's crazy.
Might be right. Let's go red right, scat right, 585, wide drag. On two. Ready? Break. Nice ride. Y'all have these in blue? Can you hear this?
There's only one Peyton Manning Children's Hospital, offering world-class compassionate care for your child. Schedule primary, ER, or specialist care online.
Thanks, Peyton. We've got this.
Oh, okay. That's where they go.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
I'm Dan Bauer here with Bob Seuss-Michael for the Steve's Flower and Gifts post-game show. But before we get that started, we're past the hour with the end of the game. They're finishing it. So we're going to give it back to the station for a legal idea, and we'll be right back. And we're back again. Again, Dan Bauer, Bob Seuss-Michael, also joined by Steve Wilson. Roncalli Rebels win their 21st sectional championship tonight over the Lebanon Tigers, 42-7. We're at Bob Tolley Field at Roncalli Stadium. And Bob, wow, another great performance by this Rebel offense and defense and coaching staff and just everybody all together. Again, it was a night where Rob said, we didn't really expect a 35-point lead to give us a running clock, but we got there, and Roncalli finishes it with another running clock to finish this game.
Dan, and we did, and we always talk about, as we call the big key, the big explosive players. You can't ignore Leffler. You can't ignore Huebler. But, the more I sit here and watch this, and I want to get your take on this, and you talk about it, and I think they continue to produce that offensive line. I mean, it's and I know you're that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But the unsung heroes, right? I mean, yeah, Barron is phenomenal.
Right.
But, I mean, those guys are blowing people off the ball, Dan, every single play. And then, like we talked about last week, they're coming back up, ready to go right now. It's not like they're wasting time. Steve, you're closer on the field. I mean, tell me what you're seeing, your thought about that offensive line.
Well, I mean, they're just getting such a big push up front, and it just makes it so easy for Barron and Aidan. And them guys know how to get north-south. They know where the goal line is. And it was weird tonight because when we were talking at halftime, you were trying to give the running back the credit, and I was trying to give it to the lineman, the bizarro world here.
Blew our minds. What's Bauer doing?
I mean, let me intervene for you two before you. But, I mean, great point. I mean, you can't take anything away from Huebler because I think also he sees the field in front of him, and adjust. I mean, a lot of guys, you've said it before, Dan, I've heard they kind of get something predetermined in their mind. They're doing this. Huebler looks at it and he splits seconds, and then he may change even after that.
Yeah, he helps the linemen look really good. But the linemen are really good. I mean, and this group coming in, and part of it is staying injury-free. The first game or the second game of the year, Patrick Meek goes down. He was one of the starting tackles, and you're like, oh no, one of the starting linemen. And it's kind of the first sign of things going south for a football team is when those linemen start to get hurt. But they made some adjustments, and they kind of were able to fill that gap and go. And like Drew Klaus has stepped in and been playing that guard position as they made adjustments. But everyone else on that line has stayed steady and strong the whole time. And one of the things we didn't really get a chance to talk about is the size of this group. Scartweed is 6'3", 275. He's a sophomore, a young kid. Grant Ray's 6'3", 310. He's a junior, a solid-looking kid. Probably my favorite lineman that we've got is Sam Seacrest. He's a center. Stands 6'6", 255 pounds.
That's one big man.
He's got long arms. He's got such a high ceiling. I mean, he can really be good. He's a junior,
and he's got another year. These guys are athletic.
They're athletic. Yes, that's the whole key. And then Trevor Lauk, he's 6'5", 250-pound sophomore. Drew Klaus, 6 foot 217. But Patrick Meek, the guy we met, he's 6'5", 297. These are big kids, long arms, athletic kids. I mean, and their ceiling. And you notice there was one senior in that. Drew Klaus, the guy that's kind of stepping in to fill the gap, he's the only senior. Everybody else is young. So this whole group, the more you play together as an offensive line, the better you get.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you've seen that this year.
And I know everybody's wanting to know, well, why aren't you talking about Leffler? Why aren't you? But I mean, you guys have played this. We've coached it. We know it. I mean, those guys, like you said, they make them look good, but it's all got to start with those fundamentals and down in the trenches. And those guys, you guys tell me, but week after the last few weeks, that is where the consistency is coming from.
What I want to tell you right now is that I argued with Steve at halftime that there was the backs, and I want to hug you right now because we're talking about linemen finally, and they're giving them their due justice. So this is keep talking. I'm following you all the way.
I mean, you have to, right?
You do.
I won't take anything away from Huebler. I love him. I won't take anything away from Leffler. But you just got to give credit where it's due. And you're talking about, well, why are we running clock on these guys? It's because we're getting out and we're not punting the football.
No, and we talked about it. Why isn't Lebanon punting the ball? They knew coming into the game that if you give the ball back to Roncalli, they're going to score. And so if you don't score to keep up with it, and how cool is that to have that mentality? Obviously, they didn't punt in the very first series, so they knew going into it. You watch film and you go, this team will not give you the ball back. They don't have interceptions. They don't fumble the ball until tonight a little bit. And their defense is hounding. They have interception after interception. Their turnover ratio is unbelievable. This team is a team that you can't punt against because you can't give them the ball because you're almost giving them a score.
Well, and you're right. So now let me go to the other side of the ball before Rob comes back in here. The defensive line.
Close the door.
The defensive line is also, we're getting interceptions, but that's because those guys are putting so much pressure in that backfield. I mean, it's just. I want to get to those guys because I've seen it for the last couple of weeks. That's the unsung heroes.
Enough about the fat guys.
Well, I'm
sorry, Willie.
Luke Swartz, Brady New, Owen Vogt, Tommy Brownfield, they did a good job. I'm not ready to go with that group that they're as good as the offensive line yet.
Don't disagree.
Harker had a lot of time tonight to sit back there and kind of pick us apart and throw it. And then we did a good job eventually of getting stuff in, but it was because the linebackers were coming in. We needed those linebackers to really help that. If we want to really start bragging about the defensive line, we need those four to put pressure before you get the linebackers in there. Now, you can throw linebackers in there. It always helps. But I think if you're comparing our offensive line to our defensive line, our offensive line has come a lot further and is a lot higher on the pedestal than our defensive line yet. Nothing against the defensive line; they'll get there because they're also pretty young, and sometimes it's harder to play defensive line, but sometimes it's not. So and this is just a situation. They're good, but the linebackers are better. And I've been really impressed with our defensive backs this year. I think we have made the biggest.
Willie, you're seeing that where you are very athletic. Wouldn't you? I mean, one of the most athletic groups we've had in a while.
For sure. I mean, and those guys, they're aggressive. They break on the ball, and
well, let me ask you this before. We talked about it coming into the season. They're playing this zone. And, you got your issues with zone. I thought they have adjusted and played zone very well this year.
And they've disguised it well, what they're doing on the back end. And it's created some opportunities. And I think we might see some next weekend. I think we're going to disguise some of our coverages next weekend. And
we played a lot of man-to-man tonight. We have gotten away from the zone a little bit. I think the key element to this, and you guys might think I'm crazy, but you add Michael Hegwood in there. He's earned a spot. And Rob talked about it 2 weeks ago, and he had a ridiculous amount of tackles, actually, at East Central. But he's a kid that all of a sudden, you put him in that defensive back. He is a glove.
He has gotten better every week.
Every week. And
week.
He allows the rest of the guys to play a different way. And allows you to play man-to-man like they're starting to do now.
Yeah, because he's become really that lockdown guy.
He has, yes. You can trust him in there. He's making plays. He's right in the same spot where he's supposed to be every time. And by bringing him in,
he was our most inexperienced guy coming into the season with Henry, Papandrea, and Brown all back starting from last year.
He didn't start until the East Central game, I think was his first one, his first start.
Yeah.
Now, and he had an interception that game and a bunch of tackles. And I mean, it's like, man, now he played, and you saw some highlights of him. It's like, we need to get him into the game more. And their coaches realize that. And again, I think it's made a big difference with that defensive back group. So we could talk all night, but we've got to go ahead and pay the bills here and then bring Rob back in because he likes to talk too. So
I guess so.
We're going to go again. This is the Steve's Flower and Gifts post-game show. See the difference. Steve's the difference. You're listening to Roncalli Football on the Ascension St. Vincent Roncalli Media Network.
Hey, is it true that you
Hey, do we need an ID? Copy.
Schedule online anytime. Getting an appointment with Ascension Care teams at St. Vincent just got easier with online scheduling.
Every day, we go farther, try harder, and do things others think are impossible. But for people who are passionate about what they do, it's normal. At Ortho Indy, we make sure of it. As the largest sports medicine group in Indiana and the official orthopedic provider for the Pacers, our specialists work to treat your injury from diagnosis to recovery and get you back in the game because you were built to perform. Ortho Indy Sports Medicine, helping you get normal back, whatever your normal looks like. Every day, we go farther.
So you think you can beat a train? Well, think again. While trains can appear to be slow-moving, they can easily cause injuries or death. You must slow down and yield at all railroad crossings. Attempting to beat the train puts yourself and others at risk. According to the Federal Railroad Administration, there were over 2,200 railroad crossing collisions in the United States last year, resulting in 293 deaths. Don't be a statistic. Look, listen, and live.
We're so thrilled to have Peyton Manning's name on our children's hospital. But we are a hospital designed for kids.
And then the halfback went in motion and then ran a slant route across the middle. Try to get a linebacker isolated on. I like this beat.
Rob Brown, Dan Bauer, Steve Wilson back for the final time on the Steve's Flowers and Gifts postgame show. Roncalli defeats Lebanon tonight 42-7 to win its 21st sectional title and advance to next week's regional. Roncalli will go on the road next week. We'll get you some scores here in a minute, but Roncalli is one of just 13 programs to win at least 20 sectionals, and this is now postseason trophy number 57 in program history. Roncalli improves in sectional final games. Roncalli improves to 21-8, and a very impressive, guys, 10-2 at home in sectional finals. The last time Roncalli lost a sectional final at home was 1997 to Avon.
Woo.
That's a lot. That's going back a ways.
Yeah, it is.
To find the last time Roncalli lost a sectional final at home, it was
98.
98. Thank you. 98. That was when Roncalli got moved up to 4A briefly when they were in 3, and then went back to 3 and
lost 10-7.
Won the 90
Rain Man.
Won the 99 state championship when they went back to 3A.
Were you coaching that?
I was.
Were you really?
Yeah.
So
we were up 7-0. Lost 10-7. Oh.
So Lebanon with the loss falls to finishes its season 4-5. Roncalli improves to 10-1.
I barely remember what this game score was.
It was a field goal at the buzzer. I mean, it was painful.
Let's look at some scores, update you on what's going on in the south half of the bracket in Class 4A. We mentioned Mount Vernon, the likely opponent next week in the regional. We'll talk about that matchup in a minute as it's a rematch of last year's regional game. Mount Vernon pulling away from Newcastle now. Newcastle was in the ball game for the first half, but Mount Vernon has begun to distance itself, leading now 42-14 with about 10 minutes to go. Mooresville leads Martinsville 52-27, and Evansville Memorial leading Evansville Central at the half 10-7. Central ranked number 2 in the state, but that game started about an hour after ours on Central Time. So some finals elsewhere. Bishop Chatard all over Brebeuf 35-3. That's a final. Danville leads Tri-West 28-13. So the winner of that game would get Chatard next week.
Danville's good too.
Just down the road from us at Lutheran. Lutheran leads undefeated Covenant Christian 38-33. Some couple scores from the larger classes. Ben Davis defeated Perry Meridian tonight to win the sectional 41-6. Center Grove 55-7, I believe, was the score I saw for that one over Columbus East, and New Pal all over Whiteland. I believe that's right. I'm going to double check that score before I say that one out loud. I'm not sure that one's right.
Okay.
But Roncalli wins. What we know for sure, Roncalli wins 42-7. Time now to hand out our player of the game, brought to us by Ortho Indy. Guys, a couple different ways we could go. Certainly the offensive line dictated everything for Roncalli from start to finish tonight. Certainly from about late first quarter on when the Roncalli offensive momentum really took hold. But, boy, it's hard to look past Aidan Leffler's effort tonight. 14 for 14 was Leffler. I believe 196 yards and 3 touchdown passes. He sets a new school record for completion percentage in a game, going 14 for 14.
He also had a rushing touchdown.
He also had a rushing touchdown, yes.
Yeah, he had a great game, and he's such a great leader out there. I mean, you can see him just in with the setting guys up, watching the defense, reading stuff, adjusting plays. And then he's up there slapping everybody when they do well and thanking them and all this kind of stuff. And again, it's a fun team to watch because it seems like from up here in the booth, all get along really well out there and want each other to do well. Nobody's just I want the ball into one ball. They're sharing it. And then they're sharing the love once they have success, and they're having a lot of success right now.
So let me break this down for you, Dan. You spent 10 minutes in postgame slobbering all over the offensive line.
Yep.
And you see who got the game.
I hate it. This is the problem with football.
You see who got the game ball, right?
I know. It's wrong.
Well, junior Aidan Leffler, who not only did he set a new program record for single game completion percentage, but he also made his 30th start tonight, which ties him with Chad Huck, who was Roncalli's starting quarterback from 1974 to 76 for the most starts by a quarterback in Roncalli program history, and Leffler presumably will break that record next week.
It also ties him for the wins, right?
Also, Leffler's 20th win as a starting quarterback, which ties Chad Huck in that department as well. So tonight's player of the game is, as always, brought to us by Ortho Indy, where their mission is to provide the highest quality comprehensive bone, joint, spine, and muscle care to patients throughout the Midwest, the United States, and around the world. From diagnosis through recovery, their team is ready to get you back in the action. Choose Ortho Indy to be your official orthopedic provider. And one note, we were giving scores earlier. I want to make sure this score was correct before I gave it out loud. 2 minutes to go at Whiteland, and Whiteland leads New Pal 48-13.
So Whiteland leading that game.
Whiteland is pulling
that
away,
makes
and
sense.
that will bring it into New Pal's run. Although I believe since New Pal won state last year, they're already assured to stay up in Class 4A or in Class 5A.
Yes.
So even though New Pal is not going to win a sectional tonight, they will come out and come back to 5A next year.
Kyle Ralph is like 97-5 right now. They need to move him up to 6A and just leave him there. I mean, he's so good. I mean,
so looking ahead to next week, Mount Vernon, the opponent. Give me your thoughts on that, guys.
Well, this is where I think everybody knew we were going to be here 3 weeks ago, and probably long before that.
And everybody knew Mount Vernon would be there too.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Mount
okay.
Vernon's sectional was not strong. They were a clear favorite there.
Yep.
We were a clear favorite in our sectional. So we can finally officially talk about it without being taboo of looking ahead.
Yes. Agreed.
So, and I know we are greatly improved from last year's team, and I suspect that they are as well.
Yes.
So, and we had a close game with them last year, even without Barron. But our offense is night and day compared to what it was last year when we played Mount Vernon. So, but their defense is good. So it's going to be our strength against their strength, and we're going to see what happens.
I watched them a little bit in their game against New Pal, and now they're playing New Pal, so you got to take that into consideration. And they won that game, but they did not win it easily. But you look at they've got a quarterback that's thrown for almost 1,500 yards, more than 1,500 yards after tonight. They've got two running backs together. They total about 1,500 yards together. I'm sure more than that after tonight.
But they've split that pretty evenly.
And they split it evenly, so it's a two-back attack, which and it's a lot of read option stuff. So there's a lot of areas that your defense has to cover, and then they've got two receivers that are both pushing 400 or 600 yards.
Well, they got a D1 receiver and a 6'6" junior, I think he is, and he's not the best receiver on the team.
Right. That's what. There's a lot of weapons, and it reminds you a lot of the Roncalli team a little bit. Now, where at least on the film that I watched, where I think we have an advantage is the offensive line. It's the offensive line. Our offensive line is better than theirs.
Yes.
Now they've got running backs and quarterbacks, and our defense has to prove that we have the better offensive line, and our offensive line has to step up. But again, I think we do have an advantage at the front, both offensively and defensively. And hopefully, my comments about our defensive line will urge them on if they hear anything about it, and they'll play really good next week because we're going to need a really tough effort to beat a Mount Vernon team because then we were talking about Rodenberg and what a great job he's done. In my opinion, Kirshner is maybe the second best coach in the state.
I agree.
And so, it's going to be, again, we got a coaching battle going on. You got an offense and a defense battle going on. I'm really looking forward to this game. I missed the one last year, so, this is kind of like Christmas for me because I didn't get to see it, so I can't wait for next week.
Cold.
Was it cold? It's supposed to be cold next week, too.
It's going to get colder next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rob's going to have to bring his heater.
So Roncalli leads the all-time series with Mount Vernon 4-1, but that lone Mount Vernon win was last year's regional victory, 25-17. Roncalli did have two possessions last year in the final 6 minutes with a chance to tie the game. You would have needed a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game, but had a shot, but could not find the end zone. And Roncalli was really undone by two costly turnovers. One was an interception, one was a fumble. And then, you look at the stats from last year's game. Roncalli outgained Mount Vernon in that game, 339 to 287, but just were unable to overcome those two turnovers. But we know it'll be a physical game. Mount Vernon is a physical team. Mike Kirshner, one of his hallmarks, Dan, is to get his guys in the weight room. And to his credit, he got those kids to buy into, if you want to beat New Pal, you've got to be committed to the weight room. And they've done that. They beat New Pal. They won the conference, and they're undefeated going into next week.
The two best coaches, don't want to take anything away from Rodenberg right now, and maybe he'll be in that eventually. But the two best coaches, Ralph and Kirshner, are both offensive linemen. And when you have offensive linemen to become head coaches, all of a sudden your offenses roll, and weight room is important.
No question.
And they bring it in, and that's having a strong team. And you mentioned it last week with Roncalli, getting them out, getting them in the weight room, getting them running and stuff. That has paid off, and that always pays off. Having guys that are in shape, and it can throw some people around late in the season. You're in a good spot.
Well, we'll have that game for you next week. That'll be a radio-only game next week, so you'll be able to catch that on RoncalliMediaNetwork.com or over the air here in Central Indiana on CBS Sports 1430. 6:30 our pregame, 7:30 our kick next Friday night from Mount Vernon. It's the regional in Class 4A, down to the final 8 in Class 4A. It'll be 10-1 Roncalli taking on 12-0 Mount Vernon. We hope you can join us for that one. We appreciate you joining us for tonight's broadcast. We had a big crew to help bring it to you. The executive producer of the Roncalli Media Network is Gary Armbruster. Stephen Ranazizzi and Luke Jones tag teaming to handle things on our CBS Sports 1430 on the audio side. On our video side, bringing you all the pictures and sounds here from the stadium. Our director, Hannah Taylor. Our graphics operator, Reese Gosser, Ben Taylor, and Ethan Gorski on the cameras. Michaela Belden did a great job as our producer on site. Jacob Taylor, our coordinating producer, and the video executive producer, Mr. Stefan Welsh, all doing a fine job bringing you all the pictures and sounds on tonight's YouTube feed. We hope you've enjoyed that. Bob Susmike, our statistician, and Steve Wilson down the sideline. Appreciate having them back, having our whole crew back together.
One more thing, Rob.
Yes, sir.
I love the blue jerseys. And I went ahead and started the rumor next week we're coming out with blue Rebel helmets.
Boy, that'd be something.
Is that okay?
That'd be
cool.
something.
Yeah,
let's roll with that.
I do you're on board.
Does it say Rebels across it?
Oh, yeah, the blue Rebels on the side.
We'll see how that unfolds. Again, you can join us 6:30 next Friday night for the regional contest between Roncalli and Mount Vernon. For my partner, Dan Bauer, and our entire Roncalli Media Network crew, I'm Rob Brown. Again, our final tonight from the stadium. Roncalli wins its 21st sectional championship with a 42-7 win over Mount Vernon. Till we talk to you next week, on behalf of our entire Roncalli Media Network crew, it's been Rob Brown saying, so long, everybody.